Wi-Fi will work.
Yes,
All right,
we're
we're
live.
live.
So now let's see how. Oh, I'm like trying to figure out how I can. I'd have to go to the YouTube,
Mm.
maybe on my phone to see the comments, or how do I go? Oh,
Um,
here it is. I got it.
yeah, yeah.
So we have one person so far. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
So,
Yeah, no, so you just before we went live, you asked about Christmas. We had a good Christmas. Everyone was still sick. So it was a quiet Christmas. But honestly, that wasn't a bad thing. Because we sort of needed a quiet Christmas.
I'm so happy you're doing so much better because a few weeks ago.
Yeah, a few weeks ago it was not great. Because like I did desk chatter, and then I think you were the last person I talked to before like it went really downhill. And then I spent 10 days on antibiotics.
See, antibiotics are great. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good thing.
We love modern science.
Mm.
Modern science is fantastic, and I feel so much better. And yeah, I was not.
Mm.
It was not good when you and I talked on the Thursday. I was
No.
not feeling well.
No, I know. And you were like coughing up a lung.
Yeah.
Poor kid. I feel for you. I was just, and it's so weird because I've been on bed rest because I had
Yeah.
surgery, 4 weeks ago. So I still have to stay off my foot. And I'm home. I can't really do much or go many places. And I get a sinus infection after I finish the antibiotics from the surgery. So go figure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was.
I'm waiting, seeing if anybody else just.
Well, it's early. I find people don't comment very much on early streams, but people
Yeah.
are watching, so that's fine.
Okay.
And then we got snow. So Kari and Shannon came for the weekend. We had an by invite only pen event is what Mom and I decided to call it. And Shannon was only supposed to stay for one day, and then she got snowed in here.
Oh.
So that happened. There was a bit of concern that nobody was going to be able to leave for many days. Luckily, there was a break in the snowstorms, and
Right.
so everyone got out of here on Sunday, which was good. Why are you up at 6:30 in the morning?
Oh, this is.
I don't do 6:30 in the morning.
See, some people are dying. They're just gonna hang on to see what we're gonna say.
That's true, but I think my issue is I'm such a night owl that I don't.
Oh, it's been just a thanks, Shari. I'm doing better, healing well, and I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to the Philly Pen Show next week. So, yeah, the doctor said I should be okay to travel, but I'm going to have to probably wear the boot to be on the safe side. I might be coming out of the boot, but I'm just going to stay into the boot until after the show. So, yeah, I won't be doing too much walking around, but it's a small enough show that it's going to be fine because I'm going to just go hang out at Kurt's table, Pen Realm, and be extra eyes for him. So
Very good.
I can go sit at the table there.
So I've been recommending Kirk for like a year on 20 questions.
He's the best. He's my guy. He's my go-to guy.
I know he's your go-to guy. I just always see Matthew because he's who comes to Scriptus, really. And it's Scriptus that like everything's calm enough to get nib stuff done, really. But Kirk does the mini stubs for Esterbrook, which has become my favorite grind.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna get a few. I'm gonna go. I've been playing with my friend Sue Beck's grind that she had done. She was at the Color Pen Show, and so yeah, I'm gonna do a few. I'm gonna venture out and get some really different grinds. Elizabeth has a question.
All right. So the issue with Hobonichis right now is there's a bad batch of Tomoe River. And so it depends what batch of Tomoe River we're talking about. If it's I didn't see Juicy Broads yesterday. I spent most of my yesterday answering comments on Drew's 20 questions, and I still have about 30 to get back to. Thank you if you've watched that and commented. I appreciate it, and I will get back to you at some point. But there is a bad batch of Tomoe River paper that is in all, or seems to be in all of the 2025 planners, no matter the brand, and is now in loose leaf paper as well. And no matter what ink you put on it, it'll bleed through. So
yeah, I've been using my Hone. I got the 2025 Hone, and I've been using fine and or medium nib, and I've had no problem so far. And the two inks that I've been using, one is Yamabudo, and the other one is it's a Kuretake chrome yellow. So it's a really pretty yellow. It's not like one of those bright yellows that you can't read on a fine nib. It's a little darker, which I like. And so far, so good. And I think it depends on the type of nib you use too. And I'm not a fine nib person, but in a Hobonichi, because of the little, you could,
So I know that at least with Lexi from Lip Gloss and Lattes, she was setting up her full year Hobonichi, and hers was fine, I think, until she hit July. And when she hit July, that's when the paper started to have an issue. Yeah. And so she was really annoyed because she was halfway through setting up the year before her paper started to have an issue. But I've got somebody who was here, I think it was Shannon, had the 5-year, and her 5-year has the issue. I'm like, that's so annoying because you've got this journal that's supposed to last this extended period of time, and now if everything bleeds through it,
that's not good. I'm wondering if you'd what if you didn't use fountain pen? Did they try with like ballpoint or rollerball?
I think you'd have to use ballpoint on it because it seems like any liquid, like really liquid ink, even something that fast dries, like any of the Ferris wheel press stuff, just bleeds through the entire. Lori's is the 5-year.
I tuned in a little bit late yesterday. I watched just a little bit of Juicy Broads in between stuff, and so I missed that part of the talking about her Hobonichi.
Honestly, I tend to watch. I love their show. I tend to watch the replay because 4:00 on a Monday, I'm generally in the middle of doing something.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what I did yesterday. Oh, I had to go. I had an appointment, and I had I went for my infusion. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I get an infusion drug once a month to help me with that. So it's not. So I'm sitting in the infusion chair snoring away, but I have to have my husband still drive. I can't drive because it's my right foot, and that's the most aggravating thing ever is to not be. I haven't driven the car in like 4 weeks now, and I'm going nuts. Not that I can go anywhere, but not that I can stay out that long. When we went to a friend's house the other night for dinner, and I had to go excuse myself and go sit on the sofa, which I fell asleep because I'm so exhausted just from doing little things. It's terrible.
I've napped through many a dinner party on somebody's couch or in their guest room.
Yep. So this is just, I can't wait to get some more energy back. So if anybody has any clues about what I should take to get energy back, that would be awesome.
Oh no. I slept for 10 hours last night. My day was done. I knew we were doing this in the morning, and I went, you know what? I'm just going to bed.
Well, I was
10 hours.
Right. Well, I was getting my inks ready on I've been kind of looking at it, and I have a ton of inks. I know we're going to get into that and talk about it, but in between prepping for the show, I would do a little and have to go back to the sofa and take like a 15-20 minute nap. It's just, getting
welcome to my life.
I know.
I do something, I have a nap.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a nap yesterday, and my day ended at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's just, and then some days I can't sleep at all. It's just terrible. Like I just lay in bed, watch TV, and my mind is going. So now, I got the Good Made Better lap desk. So it
Okay.
sits on my bed. It's perfect, right? So if I'm up and I can't sleep, I'll whatever thoughts out of my head so I can try to go back to sleep. It's just, but it's been working pretty good. So I just sit up in bed and, write down in my journal, and then I go back to sleep.
Oh, that's
So,
good. So
yeah.
we were talking about nib grinds. Hey, Kari.
Uh,
Because Kirk is your go-to person, and Kirk does my favorite nib grind.
which is
Mini stub. He does the Esterbrook mini stub, which
really?
is a fine turned into a stub. Yes, because I DM'd Esterbrook and I went, would you tell me who does this grind? Because they don't have it on the website who did it. And it's not on the nib either, unlike all the other specialty grind nibs. And they went, oh, it's a Kirk Spear nib, which now I need him to do it to like 3 of my other pens because it's my favorite grind. So when appointments go out for Chicago, I need you to remind me
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I'm really bad at making sure that I get appointments for pen shows.
Oh, Peter's on. He
Oh,
just, he
Peter's
just,
on.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think it's the bad batch of Hobonichi that's the issue.
Yep. It's very
Um,
thin and bad batched.
yeah.
Uh, the mini stub. So how do they do what is actually,
So
what is,
here, I'll grab mine. It's not in a
okay.
pen, but I'll grab it.
Oh, now you're going to make me go, like I have my appointment in Philly. And what will
It's
end up happening is I'll probably have more stuff for him to do. So then I'll go
so
back the
it's
next day to do. Oh, no, oh, they're right there.
a
Okay.
fine
It's a fine
material,
nib.
yeah, that's been turned, that's got its like point sanded off to make it stubbish, and I love it. And I don't know that I've got a single writing sample I can show you with it because
Mini
yeah,
stub.
it's the mini stub.
I have 3 pens that I'm taking to him that I just got from Italy. And I'm having him turn these stubs into cursive italics.
Like he also did my, not that I can find, not so Matthew, because Esterbrook didn't name who did their mini stub. I got Matthew to make my Pelican M200 stub-ish because
Uh-huh.
the nib was all screwed up, because it was the tester pen that Gary gave to me, and so it's sort of like the mini stub, but it's not quite the mini stub. But I adore the Esterbrook mini stub nib, and now I want it on a number of things.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try that out. I have to take my Sailor Pro Gear with me and have him check out the nib because it kind of got
Ooh.
wonky. I know I've been in a yellow mood. So lately I've been getting a lot of
Yeah.
yellow pens. But this is a fine nib, but I'm gonna have to check that out. I got another. Yes, Sherry, I love the Waverly nib. I have that on a few pens too. It
So
does a great job.
I haven't actually ridden with a Waverly enough to know if I like it or not.
So what I suggest you do when you go to Chicago,
Yes.
and I'll tell you ahead of time once he posts, because Chicago's not until May.
First week of May.
Yeah. So as soon as he posts for appointments, I'll let you know. But anyway, I'm going to go sit at his table since I'll be there being eyes. Anyway, I can take my little my travelers. I'll have my traveler's notebook with me,
That's so
and
smart.
I'm going to write every nib grind down in my traveler's notebook so I know,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so that's my plan of attack. So I know which ones, but I know I want to get um the spear point.
I've looked at it and I've tried. I think we tried it at the Atlas Sidewalk sale, and I did really like it. There's just something about like I rotate too much to write with a stub nib. Mom, as a lefty, adores them. She's got like 4 inked up currently. They're her favorite to write with. I cannot write with a normal stub to save my life.
What if you
I
did it
just
as a oblique, like?
I can do it as an oblique. I've got obliques that I've actually I I have a Coco nib ground into a double broad oblique nib. It's fabulous. But I rotate too much for like an off the shelf stub nib. The mini stub, on the other hand, makes my writing look so pretty. Like, I finally got what people meant when they went, "Oh, a stub nib makes my writing look pretty." I went, "Oh, this is what they mean." And so now I want it on so many things.
What I find interesting too is a lot of people only like extra fine and fine nibs. I
Yeah,
use fine nibs because I only have a few fine nibs and they're just for my Hobonichi for journaling.
yeah,
Yes, that's it. But my everyday writers are broads, double broads, stubs, because I love to see my ink on the paper. I really do like to see that, especially if I'm using like a shimmer ink. There's certain pens I gear towards shimmer inks. Not all my, I will not put shimmer inks in a lot of my pens, but there's certain
yeah.
pens that are fine for that. But I like, if an ink sheens or shades, especially I love shading inks. If they shade really well, I want to be able to see that. And having a fine nib and writing small, that I'm a big writer. I write big. Some people can only write small, which is
And
great.
yeah, but also, like, even if you write small, like, there are so many fun nibs. Like, you can get something like a needlepoint. Like, you don't
Yeah,
have to. If you're somebody who writes small but wants to get something custom ground, you don't have to think that there's only larger grinds out there. There are grinds that take your nib smaller.
right. Well, that's the reason why when I bought these pens, I bought them in a stub nib purposely to have them ground to
Yeah.
a smooth cursive italic or something, which works really well. That's good to know, Shari, that left-handed people, Waverly is good for lefties.
Oh,
I didn't know that. I think that's really good. Um,
then I will have to make mom try it out at Chicago
yeah,
because she's she was very against the idea of fountain pens because growing up she always smudged ink. Like, she smudged even Bics. Like, she was a lefty. Um, and now she uses fountain pens for everything, but only with fast drying inks in them.
now does she overhand write? So I know some people with lefties write,
I don't
but
know. I can
uh,
text her. Um,
how do you write with your left hand? Hey, Shari, how do you write with your left hand? Some people I see that like really over, and some people are normal, but not normal. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but I'm a
but
left. Okay, I don't know. But
I don't know. I've texted mom. We'll see what she says.
yeah, because it's interesting did the different angles. Now, as a righty, I
Yeah,
tend to write with like I look at my nib. Like the nib is at a 45, sort of about a 45-degree angle, and my pen is sort of straight. Where my husband, who's a righty, writes with his on an angle, right? And I don't write at an angle, and that's why I have trouble with obliques. I have to remember to turn them.
I write so turned in that,
Yeah.
like, I have to be so careful. That's the issue I'm having with. We'll talk about Christmas pens later. One of the pens I got for Christmas. Like, I'm
Yes.
going to have to, unless I can retrain my brain how to write, which is not impossible. Like, I've
Yeah.
already taught myself how to write once. I'm going to have to get the nib custom ground because it's a stunning pen. I love it, but it's so much effort to write with it with its current nib because if it's angled at all, it doesn't write.
Hmm. Well,
Uh,
you have to make sure that the feed, and if also have it checked to make sure that if there's too much of a gap between the feed and the nib,
yeah,
that could be an issue.
yeah. It's
Oh.
it's gonna come with me to Chicago either way, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
it is one of those things that, like, I'm realizing that there are pens that work less well if you rotate your hand at all.
So how many inches of snow do you have now?
I think we've got 2.5 feet on the ground.
Oh, that's a lot
So
of snow.
yeah. And it's still snowing right now. It's not snowing a lot right now, but it's snowing.
Okay, she writes normal underhand.
Okay. And Mom has given a very detailed explanation. I am the mirror image of a right-handed writer, but I hold the pen a little further back from the nib to keep my hand from sweeping through the writing.
Okay. Left-handed writing. My left hand is for holding my phone while I text.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Dawn. Good morning. But the other thing that I'm having too, and because, I'm a righty,
Yeah.
I had to practice with my left hand a little bit because I may need hand surgery, and I'm trying to hold off as long as I can. And it's getting, I've had a few cortisone shots,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh dear Lord, no, I can't be down. So I'm actually practicing writing with my left hand. They think the more I practice, the better it'll get. I have been able to write lefty, and it is readable. Okay.
So at some point I'll have to do a video with my left hand because it's really interesting. Because I don't think people realize how useless my left hand really is. Like, I compensate really well for how useless my left hand is. Like, you put a pen in that hand, and the hand just sort of like jumps around a page. Like, I,
Yeah.
I like I have to switch my fork when I eat. Like, my left hand post cancer, post brain injury, like, does not understand how to be a hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
get it. Yeah.
I've been able to retrain this hand and not this one very well.
Now you started up with physical therapy again too, right? Or soon for
Soon, next week. We
yeah.
get 3 weeks off for Christmas, and I got 4 because chest infection and double ear infection.
Yeah, not good, not good.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start discussing why we decided to meet? Like, I love doing this, and we're going to do it
Yeah.
like hopefully once a month.
Right.
So
Honestly, this happened because Claire and I like hanging out.
yes, this is wonderful. I do. I love hanging out with you. But so we should discuss what we thought would be today's topic.
Yes. So I forget whose post it was. I did write down their username. Because I sent you a post and went, this would be really fun to do.
Was it Nibs and Flourishes?
I think it was Nibs and Flourishes. Yeah, Nibs and Flourishes post. She did, or I assume it's she did a very pretty spread of all of her or their favorite inks from the past year. And so Claire and I decided to pull our favorite inks from past year, but we also added a couple other categories because both of us have a very vast ink collection, and narrowing it down that much was hard.
Oh my God, I actually started because I use like this. I did the best of the best. Like, so I like kept going back and forth. And I'm like, okay, which one have I used the most now? And, like even for the first one on the list was red, right?
Yeah.
So I really had a hard time. I had to toss up between 2 reds that I really love. And I did narrow it down to one. So for my red, I chose Robert Oster's Red Candy.
All right.
Which is a beautiful red. The runner-up, which I don't have here, and maybe I won't say, but the runner-up was Leonardo's Red Passion. So, but this won out a little bit more. So this is my red. So what'd you choose for your red?
So I chose Algonquin Maple.
Oh, that's a pretty red too.
From Ferris Wheel Press. The fun thing is, I just wrote a blog post for Gold Spot about searching for the best red ink because this red's been discontinued. And I think both of your reds actually appeared on my list of, oh no, they didn't. I thought they did. Of the best reds for fountain pens, which they are beautiful because they might have appeared in the honorable mention section. I put together a list of, I think it was 14 red inks for Gold Spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful red. Then, hey, if anybody's watching and they have a favorite red, put it in the comments.
Play along at home.
Yep.
Because honestly, I don't need more ink, but I need more ink.
I don't want to go there. I shouldn't even say this. Okay. Pure Pens out of the UK.
Yes.
They have beautiful inks.
They do.
Gorgeous inks. Yes, they do. A lot of them, for them, which their brands, they collaborate with Diamine.
Yep.
Right. So, but they're beautiful inks, and we just got in 37 bottles of ink. Now, okay, you're laughing, right?
I am laughing.
37 bottles of ink.
Well, I'm laughing because what the people don't know is that after our last show, I had a tour of your ink stash. I know how big it is. And I'm running out to figure out where they're going.
Yeah, I emptied out another, like underneath my TV, we have great cabinet space, which I used to have my record player died, so that's fine, but I had to take my records, my 45s and some albums out of that little case. So now that's all filled with ink, and I had to put my records in store, like they're being stored right now.
Okay.
And then I had another another couple of drawers with like games and stuff, and we haven't been gaming that much. And Elizabeth, yes, Momiji is one of my husband's favorite colors.
I think I've got it in a sample, maybe.
Yeah, Momiji is a great color. It's one of his favorites. Oh, you know what I did? All right. Before we go on to the other colors, because I'm sitting here, right? I got my books. Ink swatches by brand name. Look at that's all ink swatches by brand. Okay. And then I also have, and that's the reason why I do two.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, sometimes I may want just like an Oroshizuku ink or a Diamine ink, but this one is ink swatches by color.
So these are by brand, or these are by color, the cola rings. And then my Rolodex is by brand.
Kari likes her reds are Valentine red by, I don't know that one. Schaefer red and Diamine Oxblood. Yes, I have that one. But oh my God, I can't.
Diamine Rider's Blood. That is a popular red.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Marina.
Morning, Marina. We've only done one color. So
just one.
You're welcome to. I've sent you the link. You'll join when you join.
Yeah. So I have my swatch books here by my side, just in case I need them. So I just.
So what was it? Did you say you ordered 38 bottles of ink?
37 bottles of ink, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
So Diamine did. I haven't swatched it yet. They just came in. Yeah. They did a special one for Christmas called "Oh Come All Ye Writers," and I bought 6 bottles because some of them are gifts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I tend to buy inks that, especially the Pure Pen ones, they're beautiful inks. Price point for their bottles, which is about a good sized bottle, but this is like $8 or $9, and they do ship to the U.S. The problem sometimes with getting inks from overseas, and they wrap them tightly, they put each one in bubble wrap. Sometimes in shipping, and even they tape the lids. Sometimes the lids get loose.
Yeah, and then you've got a mess.
So I know now whenever I order from Pure Pens to put the gloves on first before I open the box. And so out of the 37 bottles, only 6 had a little bit of an issue, but I'm not gonna, they do their best and everything.
Yeah.
And not much. I'm just gonna recover the bottles with new labels and not much. I mean, it's a good sized bottle, so I'm not gonna worry. And I'll clean up the bottles, and we have a few that we're gonna give out as gifts. They got some new colors in that I'm dying to test. And oh, good. Yeah, she does this one for color families and one for brands. Exactly. Yep. So anyway, so yes, 30. So now I got out of the 37 bottles of ink that I got in, 12 of them a new color.
Okay.
So those I'll swatch.
Yeah.
And then we got some other colors in yesterday from all of a sudden I get this box and I'm like, huh, what is this now? He ordered diplomat inks. He wanted to try those out. So.
All right. Marina's here, so I'm going to throw her into this.
Okay.
Why not? Hello.
Hey.
Good morning.
I still have Christmas going on. So
That's fine.
I will have Christmas up until the first week in February when my niece and nephew come to help me take everything down.
We only don't have Christmas up because was it Friday? I think it was Friday. It's either Thursday or Friday. The Christmas tree decided to fall out of its stand in a very dramatic fashion in the living room. Luckily, though, it fell into the windows instead of onto the floor, and so nothing broke.
Yay. That's great.
How big? How big was the tree?
It was, I believe, a 7.5-foot tree in our living room. It was not small.
No.
So, Marina,
okay.
Did you do the ink swatching as well?
I picked up what I have swatched. So I don't have anything like specifically made, but I do have many swatches here. So
okay. For your favorites.
Do you have a favorite red ink?
It's hard. Dark or true red? That's the question.
So that could, because we decided to do a wild card at the end. So,
Anything can go?
Anything can go.
All right, let's do it. I think I'm still going with Diamond Mulled Wine.
Very nice.
It's this one here.
That's a pretty red.
I love
Very
it.
pretty red.
So now we're on to Magenta.
Ooh.
And I had like a few that I do love, but Tom Studios Raspberry Sorbet won out. And I actually use it still in my Scribo pen. So this is
very nice.
Very pretty.
That's a beautiful, let's see right there. There we go. And it's a beautiful, it writes lovely. It's not a dry ink. It's perfect.
I haven't tried any of their inks. They look good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to going to the Philly show. So, because a friend of mine, this is who I got the inks from, Helen's Creations is going to be there. And she has the Tom Studios. So I'm looking forward to trying a few more.
Very good.
Nice inks. Yeah, I need more inks. And anyway, I need more inks, right?
I need more space for more inks.
I think I came home from Chicago last year with 13 bottles of ink. It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does, especially I think my okay, this could sound funny, but at least to have one ink from every brand.
Oh, okay.
Do you use Fountain Pen Companion?
I do not.
Okay. I have put just my inks on Fountain Pen. Inks can go public. If you log your pens in there, those are kept private. So no one knows what pens you have. It's just a logging. So I really do like the capability of Fountain Pen Companion because of the way things get listed. But if you put your inks public, which is I don't care who knows what inks we have, they have a rating system of people that have the most bottles, the most ink brands. It's really kind of funny. So I have to look up. I forget where I am in the standings right now. So
Huh.
Marina is pretty neat. Okay. Alexandra, Magenta.
Double raspberry, Ferris wheel press,
Mm.
which is
Nice.
very similar to the magenta you picked.
Yeah.
It's just like a solid standard magenta. It doesn't sheen, it doesn't really shade, it doesn't do anything crazy. I've got it in an 85 ml bottle though. I really like it. And it's sort of just a basic hot pink. Really, I bought it for mixing in a cyan, yellow, magenta palette, which is why I got an 85 ml bottle of it. But I have inked it up just the pink because it's so
That's
pretty.
pretty. They
Yeah.
know it looks like it's really pretty. I do like some of their bigger bottles because it's easier to ink your yeah. I wish yeah. They're nice fancy bottles, but they don't work well if you want to ink your pen.
Yeah, what I really like about them is the lids because I find them easy to get off.
Right.
But
they're tough.
They're tough to ink from, and once you get to a certain point, like they're really hard to fill from.
Yeah. So
you've used any more than about a third of the bottle.
Yeah. Ink syringe and ink miser.
I've been looking at the Penider ink well thing.
I have those.
Yeah, those are we have a few of those.
Nice.
So Marina, your magenta.
I do count it as a magenta. I think some would say it's more of a red. I don't think it is. It's the Noodlers Black Swan in Australian Roses, and I have two very different papers. Definitely magenta.
Yeah, it's definitely pink.
Yeah, that's a great ink as well. So Elizabeth likes her the J. Oban one, Rose.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty pink. I think I've got a sample of it somewhere, but
okay.
I don't own any of their bottles. I like that you kept yours in order, whereas I swatched mine in rainbow order, and so they are no longer in the order of the thing.
I used a flip thing like this, and I actually have it out on a sheet of paper, but I thought this was kind of
well, because all of mine are on loose cards, except for in my book where not swatching them in rainbow order really bugged me, so I swatched them in rainbow order.
Oh, that's because you're an artist, right?
Yes.
So the pink, Andoryllium Rosette Spoonbill Pink. It is a bright pink.
It is.
I love it.
It is.
That's a nice bright, and I used it, believe it or not, in my Leonardo Mother of Pearl celluloid pen.
Ooh.
And it was really, really pretty in that. And I love writing with it. It's a very nice, bright color. Yeah. Oh, yes. I have the one that Doug's son did. Shari posted, she has a great holder just made for the Ferris wheel press bottles from Doug Rathborn. He is acquiring mine. I love Doug. And yeah, his son makes them for him. They're really interesting. They just fit the Ferris wheel press bottles.
Yeah, those are a little problematic.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
See, my issue is just that so many pens don't fit in the bottle.
Right.
I've, knock on wood, I've never actually knocked one of the 80 or the 38 ml bottles over. But like my River City Pen Co. dip pen is just wide enough that it does not fit in the 30 ml or 38 ml bottle, and if I've used this much of the bottle, I can no longer use the dip nib, which is so annoying.
It's very annoying because it's like, even if you try to put it on the side, and I'm like, forget it. What a mess. My husband's being poetic this morning.
Apparently. Well, it's fitting that he's commented because my pink is the one that he sent, or he and you sent. He purchased, you sent it.
Yeah.
Mont Blanc Pop Pink, which
Mhm.
I believe is already in a pen, but for the life of me, I can't remember what pen I put it in.
Yep. The pop. It's a great pink.
A stunning pink, and it's like the perfect pink. Is like slightly like muted. It's way brighter on camera than it is in person, and it's so pretty. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's got a little bit of like shading, or like it's got like texture to it. I think it would look really pretty in a broad.
Yep. It's one of my new favorites and need to get
Okay.
it.
So it's
Nice
that's why I can't remember what pen it's in, because it's not my pen it's in. I inked Shannon's pen with it.
Okay.
It's in Shannon's pink Decimo. That's what it's in.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a hard. Oh my God. You want to hear this funny story?
Sure.
Okay. So we went to the Mont Blanc site.
Yeah.
We got your inks from the inks we got from somebody else, Peter knows. But
Yeah.
originally, because I wanted the pop pink, and I went to the Mont Blanc site, and they didn't have it on their website, but they could tell you which boutique had it. So there's a boutique down in Aventura, which is Miami area, that was supposedly has it. So I called them up and I said, hey, listen, according to the Mont Blanc website, you have a bottle of pop pink, the Mont Blanc pop pink. She's like, what color is that? I said, it's pink.
Oh my.
Pink.
Not
It's
a pink person.
Okay. This person is working at Mont Blanc. Okay. Sorry. They don't, if you work at Mont Blanc, you should know the inventory.
Listen, I do have a feeling that and I don't want to be, rude or terrible, but I feel like, I don't know if it's the training, but I think a lot of people don't really even understand that their company started out as pens.
Yeah. So what I genuinely enjoy, two things. One, what's really funny is that Toffee Brown and Pop Pink, like 72 hours after the package arrived from you, they're suddenly in stock in Canada after 8 months of nobody being able to order them.
Oh my God. That's
fun. So that was really funny. I had to send my sales associate a message and go, so I don't need you to order them in for me anymore. But also, I've somehow been really lucky, and my sales associate is secretly a pen nerd. And he just like adores fountain pens.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be the experience most people have at Mont Blanc. Like most people seem to not have the experience of people in their local store liking pens, whereas in my local store, most of them seem to really like pens. Most of them seem to really like the inks. And even if they don't yet own a Mont Blanc pen, they own the inks and have been putting the inks in other fountain pens.
Right.
So I've had interesting experiences when you just mentioned Mont Blanc. Like for me, I am originally from Europe. So like for me, anyone I talk to will be pens.
Yeah.
Recently, I spoke to someone about Mont Blanc here. They were a collector of something else. We were talking and I was giving an example of Mont Blanc. And she's like, oh, bags, really? Like, kind of associating it with bags. And I was like, oh, that's a new one. I've never kind of gotten that response. But yeah.
Well, that's because now they're pushing their Mont Blanc like bag lines, briefcases, suitcases, or whatever. And I think they might need to go back to pens, which they were originally known for, so which would be nice,
Nice.
But yeah. Yes, I need,
Yeah.
Okay, so
you do, Shannon, because at some point I will be taking my bag to Coach, and then I will make a trip to the store. So if you get me a list, I will do that for you.
So Marina, what is the pink for you?
Those are hard. That's actually the category I am most unhappy with. As I said in my 20 questions to Alexandra. It's very hard. For me, it's hard to find the pink that will hit all the things that I want it to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's stick with
That's
see,
a nice pink.
and that's a problem. Laban, Aphrodite, I love it. But it's not true pink for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can read it. So I'll stick with that one.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So now we're going to the oranges.
All right.
I picked another Andoryllium ink, which is Viceroy Butterfly Orange. It's a really pretty orange.
Ooh, it is.
I like this one a lot, and I've used this in a few pens on and off for the year. So, and it's really a pretty one. And Andoryllium makes great inks. I do like using them.
I have to buy them. I've never had it.
Yeah. In fact, what I'm going to do is, because I do have a lot of Andoryllium inks, but they have at the pen shows, they have all these TWSBIs inked with every single one of their inks for you to test.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. It makes it so much easier.
They're like little jam jars.
Yeah. They're very cute.
Yeah.
I love Pannonia inks, Amy, too. And then
So that was
nice.
that was a close call on my list. I did debate that.
The Kotsumatsu. Yes.
Yeah.
And the orange, Pannonia. I love Pannonia inks. I have one of the Pannonias here for a favorite. So Alexandra, you're orange.
Very different direction than yours. Yours is very bright. Mine is very muted and very dusty. It is Ferris Wheel Press Russet Typecase, which has been inked in my Banu Hot Toddy for months because I've eyedroppered my Banu. I would say if you eyedropper Banu, do not fully fill it. I've used that much of it. So I've made a dent in it, but there's still quite a lot of ink, and I am starting to get bored of this color.
Oh no.
It is a lot of ink when you eyedropper a Banu. I may have overcommitted myself.
Well, you have two choices.
I do.
You could either suck it out and put it back in the bottle, or put it in a sample because you don't want it to be out for a while. So I would do an ink sample, or since you have a lot of inks, oh well, and you know what?
Yeah, I think I might.
The third choice is just write it out.
Yeah, I might write it out. If it's still inked come like end of March, early April, the pen's getting clean, something else is going in it.
Right.
I will say this now, it will be a new color before Chicago Pen Show. Because at that point, I will have been committed to this ink color I inked the pen back in October.
Well, that's a long time. Yeah.
8 months, 7 months. I don't know that I can commit to an ink color for that long. When I didn't know, like I should have realized how long it was going to last. But I think I underestimated how large the inside of a Banu really is. And that's probably why Banu says you can eyedropper them, but nobody actually does eyedropper a Banu.
Okay, well, Sherry has the Birmingham Pen Company Butcher's Broom.
Ooh.
Well, I have a sugar maple.
But with a couple drops of writer's blood from Diamine added to it. See, I need to get braver about mixing inks. I don't do it enough.
Yeah, I think because some of them, like even, and then Elizabeth says she's tried 6 orange inks. Do you have any orange inks that you like?
Yes.
Some of them get crusty, like Lucky Orange and stuff
really
like that.
Really hard. I'm sorry, guys. Hard to show, but Sugar Maple, that's one of the last ones they came out with. The Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Sugar Maple is a nice one, too.
I don't have any of the Birmingham Pen Company I've
They got
sampled them.
much better in shipping out their inks and
There,
stuff.
yeah, so there's one store in Canada that stocks them, but I almost never make a Penabler's order that is a shipping order. So like an actual box. Everything that I tend to order from Penabler's fits in an envelope. But I think if we're going to the Chicago Pen Show, I'm just gonna use Shannon's PO box or a US friend as like I'm shipping all my stuff here like a month before the show, because I do think I really want a bottle of sterling silver. I got a sample of it from
Sterling silver? I haven't on Birmingham?
Yeah.
They sell samples. The only place I know is the Gourmet Pens.
Oh, that's nice.
Depending on what color, what paper you put it on, it can be everything from a gray that leans pink to a gray like this to a gray that leans black. But also on some papers, it's a gray that leans green. Like it's an absolute crazy ink.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I really want a bottle of it. Shannon, I'm gonna need a U-Haul. I make no comment.
Oh,
No comment.
I'm trying to be like I said to Peter. I said because I'll start trying to pack for Philly slowly because it just takes me a long time now. But I'm gonna say, listen, we're gonna keep it simple, and I will take I will pack a duffel bag just in case, and one of those foldable little bags just in case. For stuff, but I said we got to just try to keep it simple. Okay, we're on to yellow.
hard.
I do love yellow. Yellows are hard, but this is a Kobe number 33 moon yellow.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, that one I like.
So you and I chose two very similar yellows from two very different brands, which is interesting.
Yeah, what's yours?
Ferris wheel pressed buttered popcorn.
Okay, so that was a contender. I find buttered popcorn to be a little bit too light, and I actually end up using it more for artwork.
Which
I'm playing around.
I when I did this, I didn't realize that Drew's episode was going to come out yesterday.
Yeah.
And I only bought buttered popcorn because of Drew's.
Yeah, well, that's that. Yeah, I remember that was his favorite, and when it came available, I bought it a long time ago. So
Ferris Wheel Press discontinued a whole bunch of inks, I think in both Canada and the US recently. And I was using a whole bunch of points I had saved up. And all of a sudden there were 2 bottles of buttered popcorn on the site. And I didn't believe that they were actually real, but I put one in my cart anyways, and turns out they were real. And I now have a bottle of buttered popcorn. But it's such a fun yellow because it's just pretty.
Yes, Golden Sands, Amy, is I like Golden Sands too. I have that one.
Yeah. And Woodsworth and Black Radiant Yellow. I think I've got a sample of that.
What is Woodsworth?
I think they're a brand that only sells on Amazon. Like they're like, I think they're like Hongdian and Jinhao.
Okay.
But I feel like I've got a sample of that yellow. Do I?
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere.
Do that.
Oh, I do. Right here. There's that yellow.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
That is a nice yellow. It's a pretty yellow. It's a very pretty yellow. So.
All right, Marina.
All right, you'll have to forgive me. I have 2.
That's okay.
Just wait till we get to blues.
Yeah.
I think, and this in real life, it's the Sailor Apricot Jam.
Okay.
So I think it's much more yellow than it is orange. And then Poland by Birmingham Penco. And that one is a little bit more earthy, so I can read it.
Yeah, I like it when you can read it.
Right?
Like a lot of these, like the yellows, if you use them in like a broad or a stub nib, they're much more readable than if you use a fine or a medium. Yeah.
Yep,
So.
I've had this problem, and we'll come to a blue, I guess, on that. But Celadon cat that everyone loves, I can't stand it.
I
can't
don't
read
like
it.
it either. I'm sorry, I don't like it either.
Oh,
See,
thank you.
I wanted to love it so desperately because everyone loves it. I've got a bottle of it. I've gotten rid of so many of my diamine inks because I can't take the lids off without mom's help. And I've kept my bottle of Celadon Cat. I've kept Celadon Cat. I've kept Earl Grey. So I've kept 2 of the Reddit inks, or maybe the only 2 Reddit inks they've done. But I never use Celadon Cat.
No, it's I don't like it at all.
No.
I tried to, but no.
Yeah. Like if I want a similar color, I will use Ferris Wheel Press Storied Blue, which is similar but
Very similar.
darker.
Yeah.
And
no, don't like them.
readable.
Now, the diamines, you're talking about the plastic bottles to open.
So none of their lids are textured, and I can't feel my fingers.
What if you
Right.
used a I have like those rubber things sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that works, and so I will go upstairs and like use a rubber glove sometimes or stuff like that, but that doesn't always work. And it's good morning.
Good morning, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi. If I have these ones, I'll show you later. I'll take a picture because in the other room, and I use them by my desk. But I got them on Amazon, and they are textured. They're about this. They're round like this, and they look like a little bit of a grid.
Yeah.
And that I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because like they're perfectly smooth. There's nothing.
Yeah. So
I hate
little
them.
this little grippy that I'm telling you about will help because lots of times I have to use that because of my hands.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, we got a couple more people. Hello, everybody. We're
party
on
this morning.
Green now.
We're on to green. Great.
On to green. Yes. So the favorite green is Mont Blanc Irish Green.
Okay.
Yes. Nice. So and I actually used, because it is inked in my husband's Mont Blanc, and this is what I was talking about. This is a triple oblique broad. So
at some point I have to make the trip to Florida just to come and play with pens.
You're welcome anytime. We have a great guest room. You can come and play. Oh, good. Sherry can't stand.
Good. We're not the only ones. I feel like it's not a popular opinion. For a long time, I was just holding it to myself.
No. I don't like it either.
Part of me feels like we all feel like we have to love it because it is like the crowdsourced ink from Reddit. Like this was a fan created ink from Diamine. Like we should love it. And none of us seem to.
Right. No, I don't know. Absolutely not.
So I would say this is just our top green. Like there are many, you'll discover, like there are many colors that we love. I have a whole wall of inks. Claire has so many inks.
I had a hard time because I also love Anderillium's. There's Bob. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I have my other book here, so this is easier. I will tell you. Where's my green? A, B, C, D. Oh, there's green. Okay. Anderillium's, Alexandra's birdwing butterfly green. I love that one. That's another one that's really pretty. And so there's a lot of greens. It's very difficult.
Yeah. And honestly, like we just, I don't know about you, but for like some of them, it was like, what is the most similar to, or what actually fits in these color categories? Because when I break down my color categories, I have like 4 more color categories than we use today.
Yeah. I mean, KWZ's green gold. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really hard.
When I break down I have green, I have yellow greens, and I have green blues, and then I have blue greens, which I guess we had teal and we had turquoise.
Right.
But I was missing the yellow greens. Like it was just like there were categories that were entirely missing. But we were basing this off of somebody else's list.
Yeah, even Emerald Fusion. The problem with Emerald Fusion is that you write with it, and 2 days later you try to open up your book and it kind of stinks.
It's like Tesla coil.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding that one. It's pretty though.
It is so pretty.
So I hate Diamonds lids. I love Caribbean green. I've got a sample of it from somebody. It's such a pretty color.
Yeah.
Once again, Amy mixes for her favorite green.
Okay. Hey,
that would be a very pretty green.
As long as the inks in the mix are fine with each other and play well, mix. Yep. So Lenny loves Van Diemen's. I love Van Diemen inks.
So
and I'll show you some of those later.
I need to get a bottle of, I don't have any bottles from Van Diemen's, but I was drinking up pens this weekend. I need a bottle of Van Diemen's Dusk. I've got a sample of it. I adore it. And this was my birthday present to myself, which Shannon brought this weekend because I shipped it to her P.O. box. I want to put dusk in this pen.
That's nice.
It is.
I'm just starting
if you've used my Atlas affiliate credit, thank you. You bought me a very nice birthday present.
Wait, I got this. This was my Hanukkah pen.
Oh.
Yeah, now we have.
We match.
One. I've never had one. I have other pens. I prefer Italian pens usually. So
yeah,
this was
I just started writing. I wasn't sure about the Vanishing Points because of where the clip is.
Yeah,
but I have two now that are, and we have a few, and those are all Peter's. But I have two that are absolutely mine, and I'm learning I am enjoying writing with them. Okay, I did my green, the Mont Blanc Irish green, Europe.
Ferris Wheel Press Peter Moss.
Ooh, very nice.
Lovely. It's muted. It was actually one of the first inks that I got as a sample and then had to go back and buy a bottle of because it's just such a pretty muted green. You will discover that lots of my basic inks are Ferris Wheel Press, purely because they send me free product, and most of these inks came from them. That being said, any PR that I've had to do for these products is long over, and whatever I do with them at this point is whatever I do with them.
Yes, I do. I was looking at Sherry's list of inks.
Racing green.
Yeah. Olivine, Pelican, Peter Moss, the Colby. I love, they're all great. It's so hard.
Yeah. It's so hard to call for a favorites list, which I think is why I don't do it all that often.
Right. But this has been good. So we're on to
Marina.
Marina.
I still have one. So this surprised me the most. Wet pen ink, and that's the Gas Park Works, and it's a weird. So
which one is it? That one. Okay, so bring it back into the light a little bit more.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let me try. Here.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's dark green with a bit of a red sheen, but it changes as you write with it, and it's just great.
What brand was that?
So it's the guy on YouTube who makes these, the Wet Pen ink.
Pen ink?
Yeah, his channel is the Wet Pen, I think. It's a big channel.
Yeah.
It's
okay. I gotta write that down. See, because I my tuna and olives. Okay.
Which is the dominant industry, one of the dominant industries exclusives from Wonder Pens.
Okay, so Wet Pen ink. Wet
pen. Yeah. Alexandra, I don't know if you will like it. I think it has little ridges though.
Yeah, he uses the same lids as Taylor.
Yeah, it's Wet Pen ink.
Cool.
And he makes them in small batches. I think he's a scientist or something.
Thank you, Wendy. I'm going to see Wendy some samples. Okay, we're on to Turquoise, and I use this one all the time. It's my absolute favorite. It is Robert Oster's Fire and Ice. And let's see if I can, there we go. That one I love. I love this turquoise. It's a great turquoise. Am I losing my lighting in here? Crap. Let me see. There we go. Anyway, so I like Robert Oster's Fire and Ice turquoise.
Very pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It does have some shading to it and everything. So right. Anyway, you're up.
I'm trying to remember which one of these is turquoise and which is teal. I didn't label my swatches. All right.
All right, put them
One
both
of, these
up.
is, one of these is turquoise and one of these is teal, and I don't know which is which.
Okay, well, put them both up
So
and we'll.
we're just gonna start with this one, and then for the next category, we've got the other one.
Okay, that's perfect.
One of them is Tasha Seb and Midori.
Okay, that would be teal.
Cool. Turquoise.
That's
that what we're on?
turquoise. Yes.
We're in called Robinson Crusoe,
Oh, that's a good
No,
one.
that's good, Robert. That's a good one.
which is actually one of Mom's inks. But I ink her pens, and so it's mine. Which I don't know if she'll agree with, but I'm claiming it as being true.
That's pretty.
All right. I'm going to try and do this again, but Pelican's turquoise.
All
Yes. There you go.
It's an old one, though, from like 2002.
right. So, apparently people love his inks.
Yeah. Oh, from what pen? Okay.
Yeah.
what pen.
He's got good stuff, but that sells out very quickly.
Yeah, probably. But like, this is why I need to label swatches. It's a problem.
Right. So, next one.
Oh, 1 second. We have an answer for turquoise.
Okay. Oh, Kompecky's a good one.
Yeah.
Kompecky's like the standard. And
Okay.
Blue's, I don't know the one that's Sub-Zero.
I don't know Sub-Zero either. And Dominant Industries Snowfield. I do really like Snowfield. I have thought about getting a bottle of it.
I love their bottles.
Yeah.
They have nice bottles.
They do. Again, I find their lids frustrating because they're perfectly smooth, but I do really like it.
I
their bottles are so
tell
pretty.
you that grip that I have with the knobs on it. And it's very lightweight. Will help you a lot.
Okay.
All right.
I look forward to it.
Teal.
Teal.
Teal. Pannonia's marigolds.
Okay.
Exactly the same one I have. So we finally matched.
Yay! Yes. There we go.
So I'm not going to show it. It's exactly the same one.
All right.
So that's one. I love that one.
It's
I use that one a lot too.
Well, Tasha Sabi Midori.
That's I've had that in a couple of my Tasha pens.
So
Believe it or not, if I really like an ink when the bottle is like, and those Pannonia bottles are a good size, and I have less than half left in there. So out of all my 600 bottles.
Yeah. Sue Beck ended up, I believe it was Sue, sending me a sample after Chicago.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to get a bottle at the show, and then people kept bringing it up in 20 questions. And I've fallen in love with it. And every time I go to a pen store, it's never in stock. So I need to get a bottle of it. But it is in the Visconti you sent.
Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice.
Send me a picture when she unwrapped it. She was so happy.
I did.
Yeah.
I did send you a picture. And the video of this is coming out, I think, tomorrow.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy you're happy. So that makes, it's all.
I'm very happy.
Yes, I love that. So we're up to the blues.
We are up to the blues.
So I'll tell you a story about this blue.
All right.
We just left DC and we're on the train to go to New York, and I'm with Sue Beck and I'm with Sid. Sid. Okay, Sid's a good kid. He works. He does a lot of the Mont Blanc stuff, and Sid. He's like a nephew to me. He calls me auntie. We text all the time. And we're on the train, and I have my this one here from Gravitas, and this Crusader, this pen here, which is an eyedropper. And actually, we've put more ink into it because we've used this one quite a bit. I've used this one quite a bit. And I said, I don't know which ink I'm going to put in here. So Sid pulls out a bottle on the train of this ink, and he goes into the bathroom and he fills it and gives me some of it. And of course, then I had to get a bottle of it. It is Ink Institute's Bannon line, and it has some nice sheen to it. And it's hard to see right now because the lighting in my room has changed, but it does sheen. It has some nice sheening to it. And let me see if I can get some light on there so you could see it, because it does sheen quite a bit. There we go. Maybe. Nah, it's not working, but I love this blue, and it has a little red sheen. It's not a lot of sheen, so it does sheen pretty well. Anyway, yeah, so it's this one here, and I like this blue.
It's a very pretty blue.
It's a very great blue. It's and there's just so many blues. It's amazing how many blues there are.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how different blues are, because this is the first of two categories that I could not narrow down. And so you got two colors.
Okay, that works.
But two very different blues. We have Ferris Wheel Press Dusk and Bloom, and we have Mont Blanc Midnight Blue, which are both very dusty, muted blues, but one is a very pale one and one's a very dark one. Mont Blanc Midnight Blue has been constantly re-inked in a pen since June, and Dusk and Bloom has been in a pen since October 2023. So I felt like both deserved a spot on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really hard because you have light blues, you have medium blues,
It is.
you have dark blues. It's just really hard to narrow things down. But agreed.
And also, like, when it's hard to narrow down I am so against blues that look like they're ballpoint blue.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I don't do that. My blues are always going to be muted and dusty and have depth of some sort. But
Right.
you can have a pale blue with depth, like Dusk and Bloom.
Yeah.
And you can have a dark blue like Midnight Blue, where I will probably need to get another bottle of that ink in the next sort of 18 months or less, because I've used half the bottle in 6.5 months. So yeah.
Hey, keep on writing, you know? Keep on writing.
I'm going to try and show it once again, but Mont Blanc Claimed Blue.
Oh, that's a nice one too.
I love that thing. I bought 2 bottles.
But that's more of a teal, I think. It's the new, The Great Gatsby. It's really pretty too. And it's more teal.
Oh, you mean the Mont Blanc one? Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
It's more of a phthalo. I would say it's a true phthalo green to me.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah. So that's really hard to narrow things down to what category it would go into too. That's, whether it be teal or green, or it's really hard. I just have a hard time. So we're on to the blurple.
I love Dusk and Bloom.
Yeah.
If you want an 85 ml bottle, get it. They've discontinued it. I have 2.
Yeah.
I do have one.
Yeah. Sailor 143. See, I haven't got any of the Sailor Ink Studio inks. I feel like that's a rabbit hole I don't want to get into.
Right.
It feels like a dangerous rabbit hole. There are so many colors.
It is. So for the purple, Diamond just came out with their 160th. It's called Athol Violet. Now, yes, it's Athol. There's an Athol, Massachusetts. So anyway, but it is a good purple, a bluey purple.
Ooh.
So for the 160th, and I really like the Athol Violet. So that's what it's a very nice purple.
Sailor Manyo Nekoyani, which is very different than yours. It's very pale, but I love the color.
Nice.
You
I
like
get
the
up all the
pale,
time.
you love the pale colors.
I like the pale, I like the muted. It still has to be readable. And
Yeah.
there are some Sailor Mano colors that aren't. The 3 I have are. Like I like
Sailor
seeing-
Manual Samari. That was like one of my choices too for
Okay.
the turquoisey one. And yeah, it's very readable. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
So
like-
that was so hard.
Yeah. There are some really good ones, but I definitely lean more towards like the muted dusty colors versus the really bright bold colors.
So Mariana,
All right. So it's Ferris Wheel Press Bayo Berry Mist.
So
Okay.
that was
It's
a
definitely
contender.
Purpley.
It is. I really debated that color because I use that purple all the time.
so for now the purple, and this is like my all-time favorite purple, and it's been discontinued, and I was lucky enough to have a couple of bottles. And so I really very rarely give out a sample because I love it so much, and they don't make it anymore. It is Visconti's purple.
Oh, it's a nice one.
Oh,
It's a very pretty purple.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the sunlight's coming back in now, so you can see it better. But it's a very pretty purple, and so I like that one a lot. So that's my favorite purple, and I use that a lot in my I've used that a lot in my Visconti Lotus Garden. It's always in that pen. It goes really well.
I have a bottle of their Orchid and Blossom, which
It's
is
a little bit light.
it's lighter, but it looks similar-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lemon Toolbar by Mon. Yeah.
They're good. I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Lennon Toolbar inks. They recently started to follow me on Instagram.
Oh, cool. I have the like the sesame oil and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm trying to decide what I want to put in that one. Yeah, on the closest she has for a blurple is a Sailor Mano. I'm terrible, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce it. And
Yeah.
yes, the Saphir one, yes, the
I have
Raban
the
Saphir.
Sophia. Yeah. For purple, Ferris Wheel Press Grape Ice Pop,
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
which is another ink that I got in a sample vial from a friend and bought a single bottle of. They then discontinued it, and I bought a second bottle of it on points because it really is the perfect purple for me. Like it's dark and muted, but it's not so dark that it looks black.
Right.
I think is hard to find with a dark purple.
That's
I very much
weird.
enjoy it. And clearly it matches my shirt. Like it's very much my purple color palette. So
Classic. Waterman Tender Purple.
oh
yeah.
purple.
And it's so funny because I bought the Waterman's Tender Purple and I put it in a pen. And I'm like, why is this? I thought it was the ink that was feathery, but no, it was the pen because it's a flex pen that scratched the surface of the paper.
Right.
So it wasn't, but it is a beautiful, I like that purple. It's beautiful purple.
I need to get the Waterman inks. They keep coming up in 20 questions and I keep meaning to buy the blue and the purple.
Troublemakers Foxglove and Diamonds Lilac Satin. Those are good. Those are
I haven't seen Lilac Satin, but Foxglove is really pretty.
yeah.
I don't have any of the Troublemakers ink in my collection. Psychedelic Purple from Mont Blanc.
Oh, that's
I have that one.
Brilliant
Yeah.
purple.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
It is.
And then there's also like the Enzo Ferrari one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
then there's the one that smells like violets. I have a sample of that one.
That's good. Do not get the
Oh.
one that's the Mont Blanc.
The
one.
perfumery.
perfumeries.
Yeah.
There's one that's red and it stinks so bad. I can't. And it has shellfish in it. It's like so bad. It's nauseous. So I can't. Yes.
Those are all very pretty purples.
Yep. I like Enzo Ferrari. Yeah, Laurie's like.
Lori,
Yeah.
See, again, Enzo Ferrari was before my time with buying Mont Blanc inks. And it's a very pretty purple. And at some point, I'm hoping somebody in the Canadian group is going to de-stash their bottle and I will snag a part bottle of it.
It's a very, very nice purple.
It is.
Now we're off to the browns.
All right.
So for this one, and believe it or not, I swatched this on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and it still smells.
Oh.
Like it's the KWZs. It smells like coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there you go. It smells like coffee. So I like that one. If I do like that, I get the sunlight on it. There we go. So yes, KWCs, it smells like coffee. I like brown. And there's millions of browns. You have no idea how many browns that I do love. And I'm like, how do I narrow this down? But then I'm like, okay, it'll be kind of, because I do use this, so it'd be kind of fun to show this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Elizabeth has a few that she likes.
And purples?
Lavender purple, Waterman's Tender purple, Tanzanite Sky from Ferris Wheel Press is a nice one.
Diamond,
Yes,
Seven Deadly Sins. Pride.
I have those from Cult Pens, the Seven Deadly, all of them, and yeah, Pride. Those are all great inks.
All right. We'll get back to Tom's brown once we've done our browns. We'll give other people a chance to insert their browns. Sesame oil from...
I like that one a lot, yes.
I love it. I only bought it because everyone was talking about it, and just before the sidewalk sale, Atlas had a restock of it, and I snagged a bottle. I love it.
Yeah,
it's hard to figure out what pen to put it in.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm going to put it in next. I've had it in a pen a few times, but I don't know that it's actually appeared in an inked video because it tends to be something that I ink up mid-month. Like when things are starting to run dry, I'll ink it up. Yeah. But I do really want to include it in probably my February inked video.
Yeah. And then when I was at Stationery Fest, they had a new one called Bubble Tea. And that's pretty nice too.
Yeah.
So I have that one. But
all right, Marina.
All right, it's Stipula Sepia. It's very used and abused, but
okay.
But I love it so much. I think they've discontinued these at this point, but if you get a chance.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to, my goal now is to try to collect one bottle for at least every brand, even if the brand's discontinued, just to say I have it.
All right.
Why not? Why not just add to the stash, right? We're on to grays.
So Tom,
go ahead. Yeah.
Tom likes the Vinta Panama ink.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that one. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, the only Vinta ink I have is mascara. I like their inks, but I just haven't bought more of them for whatever reason.
For some reason, I thought they had so many shimmering inks that I've never pulled the trigger.
They've got a lot of shimmering inks. So, and they're all pretty much the same price. Unlike other brands where like shimmers cost more or in a smaller bottle, everything's in the same packaging and everything costs about the same price. So you do have to be careful that if you don't want shimmer, you don't accidentally buy a shimmer ink.
Oh, it says, he says it's not Panama, it's Panmana.
Sorry.
I have no clue.
It's too early and I have a brain injury. You get what you get.
Yeah, he probably typed and autocorrect was on it, so that's how we got the Panama.
Yeah, probably potentially. Oh no, he typed it correctly. I just like have a brain injury and I'm reading comments.
Nice. I don't know what I'll have to check those out.
And then Noodler's Pecan.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Cat at Dusk. Ink Institute Cat at Dusk. For gray. Oh, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We'll leave that.
Hero Series, Alexander. I have Shimmer is my favorite brown shimmer. Cool. We'll get, yeah, that will be, because
We'll
we
get to shimmers.
shimmer, because we decided to do a shimmer category.
We did.
Okay, for the grays, I'm going back to my Andoryllium, Shoe Bill Stork Gray. Now, it's so funny. Which way do you spell gray?
Oh, that's
G-A-Y or G-R, I mean, G-R-A-Y or G-R-E-Y?
EY for me. But
I do
might
EY.
be wrong.
Right. Anyway.
It depends on. There are actually rules in Canada about when you use each spelling.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm bad at remembering when to use each of them.
I love this gray. It's a great gray, and I use it in a pen. One of my pens that has been designed for my daughter, and it just goes perfect because it has elephants all over it. So it's perfect gray. Anyway, Alexander, your turn for the gray.
So apparently it's EY in Canada.
Okay.
And in Britain. So cool, I wrote it correctly on my swatch cards. Again, we got 2 for this category. I like gray ink. Around the World in 80 Days and Cool Gray.
Mm-hmm.
If
I wasn't sure
about
the Jane Austen ink.
So
yeah,
my problem is that I love Jane Austen. Jane Austen is already in a pen. It was so hard to figure out where Jane Austen went in my swatches. It sat on my desk for like 5 days, and I just sort of moved it around my swatch book.
I ended up with purple.
I ended up putting it in the gray section. I decided it's a blue purple leaning gray, but I felt like it didn't get a gray spot here because, one, at the time I did this, I had not inked it up in a pen. I feel like to be included in this, the ink had to be used in a pen this year.
Right.
And Pop Pink made it in just under the deadline of that. But it was just one of those things that, like, I love Jane Austen. I think Jane Austen is always going to be inked up in the pen it's in, also because that pen is a pain to clean.
I love the Jane Austen ink. It's pretty, and I'm like,
it's so pretty, and depending on what paper you use it on, it's like a whole bunch of different colors. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
I have it in my gray black. In my Around the World in 80 Days is good too. Let me pull out the sample. So go on, Marina, and I'll pull out my sample.
Oh, yeah. I have 2 as well. So I will have Mont Blanc Spider Metaphors, whatever. Yeah. Sorry, it's like English is my 5th or 6th language, so it's like hard.
Fair enough.
Sometimes it's hard. And
see, and I just can't talk.
Dark gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very, very cool. So I was like, okay, now I can't even find
Metamorphosis. There you go. It's also 8 a.m. for me. Well, almost 9. So
yeah.
So Lori agrees with us all about Jane Austen.
Yes.
Because if you can't find your swatch, I'll go start looking.
No, I have it right here.
Okay. I'll start looking for mine.
I got it right here. It almost looks kind of brownish too, which is kind of weird, but there it is.
Yeah. In my video, I swatched it on like 6 different papers.
Yeah, this is the wearing gold cards, which I love. Yeah. You know, the wearing gold cards.
Definitely, even like with your lighting, it still looks purpley to me.
This is it on Rolodex paper.
Right. So it's like it's so hard to decide if it's brown, if it's gray, if it's purple.
So Mom's question was, how do you decide what the true color of an ink is? And I went, what's the true color of Jane Austen? Are we to believe?
What were they thinking about when
are we to believe Mont Blanc that there is a paper that it is this color? If so, I do not own a paper that it is this color.
No, and it's so hard because I don't know where I put it in my color book. It might be it's under the browns.
It's under the browns.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's under the browns.
They claimed it was umber. I would do that too.
Yeah, because that's what they say. It says it's
where did I end up sticking it? I ended up sticking it. That's wrong.
And that is why I have 2 books, one by color and one by brand. So it's like, because you can't, it's so hard to just decide which is what.
Yeah,
Okay.
I ended up sticking it after dye mine Earl Grey in the grays. I
Yeah.
went, sure. But I've inked it up in a pen you helped me purchase, and it's never getting cleaned out of this pen because this pen is such a pain to clean.
No.
But
Yeah.
it's so pretty.
They are pains in the end. That's,
It's so
there's
pretty.
something to be said about cartridge converter pens.
There's something to be. Well, I think I wouldn't have found it as much of a pain to clean. I should have expected that I'm buying consignment from somebody who is destashing their pen collection because they are unwell. I should have expected that maybe the pens were put away not clean. And maybe it had sat for a long time and all the ink had dried inside.
Well,
And so it took
a lot of cleaning. Did you use
Oh.
pen soap?
no, of course not. Why would I own pen soap?
And you know what? The best one is actually Dawn dishwashing liquid. Just a pinch of that in water, and keep flushing.
Yeah. No,
But-
because then I thought I got it clean. I left it on my desk for 10 days because I got sick, or I was still sick, and then people were here. And I came back to it yesterday to film my video on it, and I go to ink it in the video, and all of a sudden there's red ink coming out of it, and I go, huh. So any of the water that had been left inside, like any of the ink that was dry, was suddenly rehydrated, and then I had to flush it some more.
Yeah, you know what to do too is you fill it with water.
Yes.
Okay, fill it with water, and then tip it the nib upside down in paper towels. So then it just kind of like that helps. Like I have a cup that I stuff with paper towels, and put the nib on top of the paper towels and let the water just kind of drip out of the. It will just because it's very light.
I have a cup full of paper towels, but I tend to just use it for when I'm after everything's flushed, just for drying it out.
Yeah, fill the pen with water, and because the water is more. I don't know, it just comes out of the pen, so it works for whatever reason. It works, but
my goal is to never clean that pen again. It is always going to get the same color of ink, and I would like to not clean it again.
Okay, so you said this is a pet peeve.
Yes.
So a lot of pens get traded into retailers, and then they put them in their previously loved selection.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why they don't clean out the pens.
So
yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, this is the first time this store has ever done consignment. I'm not.
Not good.
I am not upset at the store at all.
I know,
but I think and honestly, it could have only been this pen, because he also bought something, like the store owner himself bought a pen from the lot and didn't mention that he'd had to clean it a bunch. So it might have only been this one pen. I've no way.
Well, the thing is, I think that like even on eBay and Catawiki and all those sites that sell used pens, if you're going to sell a used pen, and if it's your pen, I don't want to get it delivered with ink still in it. I mean, I think that's just so wrong, where I have to at least take the cartridge out or empty it out of ink, because I'm going to re-clean it anyway. But and then you get the pen, and in shipping, there's ink everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's a pet peeve.
And I think that one of the issues with this pen is, you and Peter looked at the photos of it. Looking at the pen, it looked clean.
Yeah.
Like, it really wasn't until I filled it with lukewarm water a couple times that ink started to come out. Like, clearly it had been put away a very long time ago. Everything had dried inside, and it took water rehydrating all those little bits of ink for stuff to start coming out.
Yeah.
So like
it's like a huge pen, so we clean the pens, especially if it's a used pen. So now let's go on to.
Okay, one second. Let's highlight people's grays quickly.
Okay.
Before we move on.
Go ahead.
Ingrid, Robert Oster Graphite.
Yes, that's a good one too. And Then we were down to we talked about the Jane
We
Austen.
talked about Jane Austen. Is Jane Austen a brown gray? I would call Jane Austen a purple gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it says amber on it.
Umber. Yeah.
Umber.
It says umber.
Umber.
And the box looks very brown.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's chameleon. Like Lori says, it is a chameleon. Oh God!
Yeah. I think that would bug me more than what happened in this case.
Yeah.
Because if you're making YouTube videos on pens, you know better. Whereas in this case, this is a lot of consignment pens from somebody who's been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Like, there's no ill will on the person who is consigning these pens. The shop, like, it's the first time they've ever done consignment. There is no ill will on the part of the shop. They did their due diligence to make sure that they were authentic. I then contacted Clare and Peter, who confirmed for me any of my questions, because I don't know enough about vintage Mont Blanc pens to spend that much money without having one of my friends check it over first. That would bug me a whole lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, this one here from Wendy, that definitely would just really bug the. I have a few, I'm going through a de-stashing, okay? Because I realize there's some things that I have a couple of Galen leather things that I'll be putting up. I got to figure that out. Yeah. And
let me know what you're putting up for Galen leather, because I might buy before you put it up.
I got the medic bag and I have the leather tote bag. And there's the medic, I have the blue medic, which they're sold out of, and they're sold out of the blue tote. It's because I don't use them. I used it once or twice because I carry something that's a little bit different. And so, those were impulse buys, and I'm not doing that anymore. But I also have a few pens that I'm going to be selling. And me, as somebody that I decided to make sure those pens are clean before they're cleaned. I have to find the box and the papers and everything before I even go ahead to consider selling them, because I will not sell a dirty pen. That's me.
And that brings up an interesting point.
Yeah, same. I have to list a couple, and I've cleaned all of them.
Yeah, but I keep all my pen boxes because I never know if I'm going to end up selling something someday. Yep. A lot of people don't keep their pen boxes.
I'm running out of storage on my where we're putting these boxes.
Yeah. Does it bug you when you buy something and it comes without a box secondhand?
Not really. It's I'm fine with it, but I think you have better value, especially if it's an expensive pen, to have the box. So if you don't have the box and you want X amount of dollars, I'm going to negotiate and say, well, you don't have the box. Yes, I would love the pen, but to me, the value is not as. Some of these boxes, like the one they just showed. You got, if they're a nice lacquered box and you get rid of it.
But it's the original Moss from 2000.
Yeah.
So, for this, I make a point to keep this packaging.
Yes.
So people can actually have this as such. So.
Peter just he received a previously loved Mont Blanc pen in yesterday. The cartridge is full of blue. It came to, and it flooded the barrel and cap. It's a complete mess. He's so pissed off. So
that's fair. I said
I can't stand it. I think that long. You got to go clean it.
I would not be happy about that.
Yeah. So no. It's just not a happy thing. Okay. So now we're on to black.
We're on to black.
Ready?
Yeah.
So many different black choices, but Monte Grappa black is a very nice black. It's black. There we go. So that's the black I chose. Monte Grappa's black. And actually have it in a little Mont Blanc Carrera pen. Isn't that cute?
It is so cute.
And it's a hooded nib. It's like cute. I like this one. It was a previously loved Mont Blanc. And that's that one. Yeah.
Interesting point from your husband here.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with this statement.
I don't know if they didn't care to retain the box in good condition, then I feel the person did not take care of the pen either. I think he's just so upset about the pen he just got.
That
Okay.
one, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like it depends on the pen. Yeah.
Like
It does depend on the pen.
I don't know.
Some people just don't have the storage space for the boxes.
Yeah, I don't like
So
it.
and it makes it so hard. It's like, there's some boxes, if it's like a Lamy Safari, I mean, those Lamy Safari boxes are just Lamy Safari boxes. And
Like I can store 12 pens in a case like this where everything's lined, everything's separated, nothing touches
right.
for this much room on a bookshelf
Right.
versus pen boxes, which I'm looking at 6 or 12 pen, probably 12 pen boxes actually. And they take up a lot of space.
Oh my God, yeah. So I think if it's expensive pens, definitely.
Yeah.
Lately, though, like even Mont Blanc, their prices have gone up, but their packaging has gone way down.
Yes, I've noticed that. Oh yeah.
I'm not happy with the Around the World in 80 Days. The pen number 1 came in a gorgeous box, very nice box, the whole bit. Now the Around the World in 80 Days number 2, which just like the regular cardboard boxes, they put the pen in there and they're like, here you go. And the price, of course, of the pen is a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, get off this tangent. Black for you.
Black. I only own one black. If you watch this channel very often, you'll know I rant frequently about my hatred of black ink. If it's not waterproof, there's no point.
Yeah.
Sailor, Kirigiro, I own one black ink.
Okay.
It's
Fair enough.
waterproof. If I need a dark, similar to black color, I'm going to go with a gray. I want something interesting. Black is so boring.
Well, the only reason why it's in this pen is because it's a fine and I can use it in my Hobonichi and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. But like if I want something like that, I'm going to choose a dark gray.
Yeah.
Yes, black ink is functional, as somebody in the comments said. I don't have a regular job. This is what I do. I have a traumatic brain injury. And so I work for myself and nobody cares what color of ink I use for my notes. It's just me.
I think it's very nice when you get a note from somebody and they use colorful inks. I love that.
Right. I think blue is the functional ink in my mind.
Yes, I think blue, I think dark gray. Like I think in some cases you can get away with a dark brown as a functional ink. Yeah.
Okay, Marina, you're black.
All right. So my black is, I'm of the same mindset. It's going to be the Sketcher type of ink. So Detrimentus document ink.
All right.
Document black ink.
Yep. That's a good choice too. Now we're off to some fun inks.
Once we go through the comments quickly, Carbon Black. Ooh. Great black ink. Frequently comes up in 20 questions.
Yep.
Hate black ink. I've not actually tried the Octopus Fluid inks, but I do like their certified document inks that Octopus makes. They are very nice. I only use black for art. Yeah, pretty much.
Now that's the same thing. Yeah. I feel like for me, writing is blue. If you talk to me like from my academia years, blue. Yeah. I would never use ever black for writing.
Always blue. Pearl Noir. And another vote for Platinum Carbon Black.
There is another black by Colorverse that is a permanent black, and it's more of like a gray black. And there was someone, I wish I could remember her name because I follow her on Instagram, but it doesn't come up much. And I see her always at the pen shows, but she sits, like her husband's a custom pen maker.
Okay.
So if this rings a bell to anybody, please, because I'm just, I missed her name, but she sits there at the table and she draws people. Like she draws the scene of at the pen show. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And she uses the Colorverse. It's a Colorverse ink that is the black. And that's what she uses for drawing.
Okay.
It's really cool. Her drawings were amazing. They were pretty cool. I was like watching her draw this, like she just kind of started drawing a scene at the people walking by at the pen show. That was really kind of cool. So anyway, now we're going to go on to the fun stuff, right?
We are.
Yeah. So it is Shimmer inks. Now we'll do one at a time.
I'm gonna listen. I have none.
You have none.
Them. I am
none.
just
So-
too afraid to use them in my Mont Blancs and stuff like that. So
I don't use them in Mont Blancs.
But most of your collection's vintage, Marina. Like
yeah, that's also why.
you shop
Yeah.
estate sales. Most of your collection's vintage.
Right.
That's kind of neat. No, I would never use it on a vintage pen. And the only time I ever use Shimmer inks is on my Benus.
All right. I still have not tried any of their pens. No Leonardo's, none of those either. So I'm still have ways to go.
Yeah. The Schmidt nibs in a broad, and now they're doing stubs.
I know.
They're doing a flex, but I like using Benus for Shimmer ink. So that really works. So my favorite all-time first one is from Van Diemen's, and it's his Azure Kingfisher.
Ooh.
And that is a gorgeous shimmer ink, and it's my all-time favorite. So Alexandra, number one for you.
Ferris wheel press plated gold tresses.
Okay.
This is the card. This has been in this pen which is a double broad sport, for months. It's always in my purse. It is the pen I use on birthday cards. I always have it inked up, and I think I'm on my second bottle of this ink. So it's sort of similar to Golden Barrel, but different enough.
Yep.
And really, it's buttered popcorn with gold shimmer added to it.
Yeah, I take Tom's right. I do have a couple in my Opus 88s, but I have the Pilot I put the parallel nib in my Opus 88, so I really gonna have some fun with it. And
I just tend to stick shimmer in anything with a nib bigger than a medium.
right. And
I'll at least try it. If it doesn't work, you can always clean the pen. And I won't use shimmer in vintage.
No.
I see no problem with trying shimmer in anything larger than a medium. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, well, it's what cleaning a pen's for.
Exactly. And Peter actually uses he has a Bexley pen that has a double broad nib, I believe.
Okay.
No, or stub. It's a stub. And he uses Diamine's Magical Forest. And he might not write with that pen for a week, and it writes right away with that shimmer ink. It's amazing.
That's what I love about that sport. I can go 3 or 4 weeks without touching that pen, and it just writes. It's great.
Talking about Golden Barrel, that's my second one. And I have it in my Benu, Milk and Honey.
That's such a pretty pen.
Isn't that pretty pen? So
it's like my hot
the lighting is like,
I was about to say it's like a sister of yours.
Yes, it is. It's more, mine is more like
opaque instead of translucent.
Yeah,
right.
It says, it's called Milk and Honey.
Yeah.
So it's get them, it's very pretty. We get both matching ones. And your second one?
Ferris wheel press unfettered flight.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yep.
So light blue with a pale pink shimmer. If I could have gotten this ink in an 85 ml bottle, I would have. I just always miss the restocks of it. But it's so pretty. I'm about halfway through my bottle of this, so I have purchased a second bottle of it.
Yep.
Because you never know when they're going to discontinue colors. And I just really like it.
Very nice. And okay, so Shari uses De Archimentis. And
Ferris wheel Pressa Royalis was very pretty. I did think about it being on this list.
Nettle, Robert Oster's Lost Dutch. Oh, I'll have to look at that one. I like but I have so many shimmer inks too, but they're all nice. So, and my third shimmer ink which could have gone under the teal category, is Wearing Goals Wayfarer.
Okay.
There you go.
I do like that brand. They're fun.
They're very fun. I use this ink a lot in some pens, and very nice.
It is very pretty.
And yours?
So I don't know if I said this when we were live or just when we were waiting to go live. There was an ink that I wanted to include that I felt like I couldn't include because I hadn't put it in a pen yet. And so there are actually 2 I have left because I won Clarissa's giveaway.
Cool.
Which meant she sent me something from the Istanbul Pen Show. So the one that made the list, because I've used it in a pen, Mom's currently got it inked up in 2 pens, and we both adore it, is Colorverse Mystic Mountain.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like if you mixed Unfettered Flight and Mont Blanc Midnight Blue together, it's so pretty.
Oh, I like that. That's very pretty. And it goes pink and blue. I like that.
It goes pink and blue. I love it. This is the color that I felt like I couldn't include because I haven't actually put it in a pen. I don't know that I'm ever going to put it in a pen. It takes forever to dry.
Yes. That's the
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I know. And like the camera isn't capturing just how green it goes.
And that it's the diamine? What?
Diamine Anatolia.
Yes. Yeah.
From Istanbul.
Yeah.
It is so stunning. It is so pretty. But it takes probably 15 minutes to dry.
Really?
I don't know that I'm ever going to put it in a pen.
Well,
it would have to go in a broad.
Did you write with it or just put it on the swatch card?
I've just done it on a swatch card so far.
Okay, so it could be the swatch card, maybe, but maybe we can try it on a pen.
So I've used it on a Warengall card and a Colorverse. Cola Ring card. And both of them it took ages to dry.
Okay.
So it'll be. I know at some point I'm gonna have to put it in a pen. But it might go. I might start by putting it in something less expensive.
Yeah. Or
Just
you
in
can use
case.
it in Coco or use it in, I don't know. Where is it? I have it too. But I'm trying to see.
Like I also have no idea where I'm putting it in my swatches. Like I think it's gonna go in blues because that's the base color. But it's so many different colors.
Now that I'm a little more awake, I'll have some questions about, shimmers.
If you'd have to get a non-vintage pen.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. I was about to ask if you've had any experience, like how would you rate the brand of inks that you've used with shimmer inks? Which would be the one to avoid, and which one would be the one to go for?
Okay, so Van Diemen's lines I have the best, in my opinion, the best shimmer inks because they're more lubricated.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of Van Diemen shimmer inks, and I find they work the best in a lot of the pens. Now you can try it out in a TWSBI with a broad or stub nib, if you want to get something just to try it out, or and not do the expense of a Benu right away. So if you just wanted to play and see if you even liked or considered shimmer inks, TWSBI does really well, and for an inexpensive pen. I know that my friend, believe it or not, my friend Suzette from Suzette Pretty Pages. Has put some shimmer ink in her the new Harry Potter set, the Salami Safari ones, and they came in medium nibs, and they're working fine, she says.
Yeah.
So
I like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna put it in my Santini, but
no.
Yes.
No. But
yeah, like I like It's funny. I like the Ferris Wheel Press Fairy Tale shimmers, but I don't like the ones in the everyday ink line. Like, there's something about the shimmers that they use in each line, and I don't. Whatever they use in the everyday line, I don't like as much as what's in the fairy tales.
Yep.
And I also really like the Colorverse shimmers.
Colorverse shimmer is very nice too.
I only have one in a bottle, but I've tried a bunch of others from friends' collections, and I really like them. And then the other brand that I do like their shimmers quite a lot is Wearengal.
Yes.
Wearengal makes a nice shimmer, and they make a fun sort of selection of colors where you get some of the more moody shimmer colors that you don't see as often in other brands.
Right. The Diamine has some nice ones, and then some that are just okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on shimmer in a gold nib pen? You know, ebonite is, if a lot of gold nib pens use ebonite feeds.
Yeah.
And I prefer to use them on plastic feeds because ebonite is a rubber and it can easily get embedded in there. You know, so as long as it doesn't have an ebonite feed, it'd be okay. But if you, okay, so you can put it in, you can put shimmer inks in a gold pen with ebonite feeds. You can.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't let it sit there. I would use it and clean it right away.
Yeah, it's much more porous.
My big thing with shimmer pens, or pens I put shimmer inks in, is there are always pens that, worst comes to worst, it is easy to get and inexpensive to get a replacement nib and feed.
Yeah.
Like $20, $30, $40 to replace the nib and feed if, you know, something were to happen. If it were to get so clogged with shimmer that even like taking it apart and soaking it, like it still doesn't write.
Yeah, it is more about the feed than it is the nib.
Yeah, like I want the ability to not have destroyed this pen, for it to be a relatively inexpensive fix.
So my friend Lenny Arger, I don't know if he's still on, he might have gone back to work, but Lenny is experimenting with, he got some feeds and he's experimenting with putting a bigger hole in the feed just so it can take shimmers better.
All right.
Now, Nina said he puts shimmer in his Leonardo pens, and he says that handles the shimmer so well that he doesn't have a problem with those feeds. And you know, just really depends on the feed and the pen and everything else. More and more gold nibs have plastic feeds.
Yes, and your lovely husband is also saying there are two other things to consider when using shimmer inks, but hasn't typed those two other things.
I know. So Peter,
unless you can read his mind.
No, he's going to have to type it in because he's in the other room and I have the door closed, so I can't scream out to him. You know.
Peter, shout loudly through the wall, or like fill us in chat.
Fill us in about that. He might have hit enter before he could.
Is it more about the feed? I would say it's more about the feed, and how wet the pen flows. Because if it's a super dry pen, and the flow isn't good, then as soon as you add those shimmer particles into it, like, you're going to end up with issues.
It's gonna get worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Wendy says that she has a shimmer ink permanently with her Pilot FA nib, Falcon nib with 3 slit ebonite feed, and it works great. And you just never know. It depends, but it does depend on the feed.
But it also depends on the amount of risk you're willing to take.
And how much shimmer, like Jayabon inks, okay? Jayabon inks, they do have some shimmer in them, but they're not heavily shimmered.
Yeah.
Even after you shake it up. Some people use shimmer inks, but doesn't shake it up, so you may only get a little bit of shimmer.
That's what I've done with this. This has Wearengal 12th Night in it, which is an Alice exclusive ink. It is shimmery. I didn't shake it up. I just wanted the pale pink in it. I'm sure that it's got a little bit of glitter in it, but it's a
It should
medium
be
nib,
fine. Yeah.
and it's so far fine. But
Now we
it's
did. Yeah.
really all about
I'm gonna
the
text them. Maybe
thanks.
I'm gonna text her
It
and say,
really
"Hey,
it's
finish."
all about the level of risk you're willing to take. Like I will willingly put shimmers in a Naviler or a Kaweco or a Benu or an Esterbrook
Uh-huh.
because all of those are fairly easy to get replacement nibs for. But I will not put shimmer in something that is harder to get a replacement nib for because I just don't feel like dealing with that hassle.
Right. What's your experience with Robert Oster shimmers? I've been looking at that Rose Antigua for a while.
So I
So-
only
That's a pretty
have
ink. It's a very
Yeah.
pretty ink.
yeah, I only have one. I only have sidewalk gum.
Hmm.
I like it. It's very, very shimmery. It needs a different nib than the pen I put it in. It didn't work in the pen I put it in. And because it didn't work in the pen I put it in, it sort of put me off of using it. That being said, I now know from friends what pens they had success putting it in, and I'm just going to switch up the pen. So at some point, I need to get a broad nib for my Benu so that I can put it in a Benu.
The Robert Oster's, it was the 2023 Dutch Pen Show ink that they had, which was a pretty green, beautiful green with heavy shimmers.
Yeah.
And I also got the Dutch Pen Show at that time, the Kaweco that they did, which is a nice, pretty yellowy Kaweco, golden. And I put it in there, and it clogged my Kaweco with the double broad nib, and it's because it was too much shimmer. But that was so easy to clean out; it was fine. Now I've used it in another pen, but I also made sure not to shake it up so much, so a lot of the shimmer was still, because that one was, like I said, a lot of heavy shimmers.
So what do we do? I've only finished one bottle of shimmer ink. I've only finished a bottle of plated gold tresses. There wasn't actually anything like really left at the bottom of that bottle. I'm sure I will run into other bottles where that's an issue, but I haven't had that yet. Lori has had shimmers. Are those both Robert Oster? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I had happen with this. Is sidewalk gum is super pretty. I adored it. I put it in a double broad Naviler, and it didn't write. It would write a couple letters, and then it would just stop writing. And that really frustrated me because it was such a pretty color. And Atlas had such pretty writing samples with it. It worked in the pen they had in the Atlas store that you could test it with, and I could not get it to write at home.
Mm-hmm.
That is that's kind of frustrating when you have an ink that you love the color.
Yeah.
And you can't get it to write in a pen, and then you put another ink in the pen, and the pen just writes beautifully.
I know.
So
Right.
so therefore the ink could be too dry.
So pretty.
Put a little white lightning in there.
I don't have white lightning. It's not available in Canada. It's one of those things that I have to pick up in the States, or it's not available easily in Canada. And I keep forgetting to order it. So
yeah,
little white lightning.
Whenever we talk about these things, and like, because Lori just mentioned how something cemented in her,
Wendy's meeting got canceled. She's back.
Oh, good. Come hang out with us one day.
I'm just like, my mind as a paint maker, that's where my mind goes. It was like, what is your formulation? Or how cheap is, something you use? Because I think it's also what
is it the wrong size of shimmer part? Like you and I, or you don't work with shimmer watercolors. I work with a brand that
I've test made them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I work with a brand that frequently creates shimmer watercolors. Like I think if I pulled every test color from my palette, Laura has just in the ones I have, there's probably 150, 200 colors that have not made it to the shop because there's been something about them that we haven't liked in the past 5 years.
Okay.
And that's just the ones that have made it off of Laura's desk to my desk, where I have then gone, I do not like this. Like, there are so many glitter and shimmer particles out there,
Yeah.
but there are some that just don't work as well.
I mean,
No.
that's why I haven't released mine, and I do have them, but unless I am 100% sure, I'm not gonna, sell it and have a client struggle.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, and that comes to also the nibs, a lot of people use extremely expensive natural, brushes. And sometimes the shimmer, if it's very rough, it will damage your brush. And you spend hundreds sometimes on that brush.
Yeah.
It's the same way with the pen.
I have 2 brush sets. I have my shimmer brushes, and I've got my far more expensive normal watercolor brushes. And they are marked, so the two do not get confused. I have 2 water cups on my desk when I paint,
Right.
labeled so that nothing gets screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned to do that because sometimes things get screwed up. So everything has to have the labeling. I get the label machine. It's like permanently like on my table and stuff like that. So I guess just like label everything or masking tape and labels. Last one that we have.
Last one.
The wild card. It's the wild
Right.
card and stuff. So anyway, let me see. Hold on one second. Well, let me send. I typed it 3 times. Okay, send it here and I'll say it. Send it here. That is so weird. He can't type it in.
Weird.
Send it here. Very weird. On
Maybe
chat.
it's too long.
Too long, I was about to say.
There's
Yeah.
a character
Okay.
limit.
Yeah, character limit. If too long, separate it. Separate it. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so Wildcard. This is an ink from Kiwi Ink,
Okay.
and I butchered the name. It's Quadzilcoda. You'll see it written here. But this ink has sheen, shimmer, and the colors change. It's so funky weird, and I'm hoping that I can get it in there. There it is. So it has like all these colors that once you use it, it changes. There's like some yellow, some blue. There's shimmer. There's gold. It's like a pretty ink, and I've used that one in a pen a few times, and I really just like the way it lays down. And it really depends on the paper. So I don't know if you can see that.
No, it's super fun.
It's very fun, and that's the way it's spelled. There you go. So there.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Alexandra, you're a wild card.
Probably comes as no surprise because I talk about it frequently. The Pelican highlighter ink. I love this. I use it all the time in the Coco Sport highlighter. Currently not inked because I just cleaned a whole bunch of pens, but I use this a shocking amount. I didn't think I was going to use it, but I find that I use it for underlining notes in my daytimer, like if I need to make sure that I remember to go back and do something. And it's just super fun. It also glows under black light, which is also fun. Like,
oh yeah, it's too long. I'll read it out. See?
Okay, Peter. Yeah.
All right, so I'll have to
Marina, you go and then we'll hear from
Oh
Peter.
no. It wasn't him.
Oh.
I must have okay, so the wild card is this is me. It wasn't him. Now my stupid I must have hit. Okay, his is small. Other than the nibs, the volume of the feed is the most important factor. Also, the size of the particulate used is important. Obviously, smaller particulates are much less likely to clog. Unfortunately, I've never seen an ink company list their particulate sizes. So that's what it was
that's
say.
what we were talking about. That is very important.
Yeah. So yeah, the other long thing, the mic must have hit on my phone and it recorded everything that I said. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm reading this, and I'm like, no, that's me. So yes, and Marina, what do you have? Did you have a wild card?
It's a bad paper, so you don't see, but Wearingoule's The Phantom of the Opera. So it's kind of, it has this heavy red sheen on different paper.
Yeah.
It's just a very pleasant blue, and it goes from light to very kind of dark-ish.
Yep.
And then the red on top, and it's my wild card.
Right.
Okay, I got it here actually got a swatch right here, and I can probably show it to
Yes,
your wild
you
card.
have a better paper for that.
Believe it or not, yeah. So this one here, there you go.
There
Ooh.
you go.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, it's a great wild card. This paper, because I like using 3-ring binder thing there. So everything's in a 3-ring binder like this in my card. The Wearingoule cards now fit perfectly in here. But beforehand, I was trying to find like a business card type, and I asked coloring. This is coloring paper. I asked him if he would cut it off the ring and make it this size, and they did. So for the longest time, this is what I have the coloring paper. So anyway,
I love the cola ring dippers. They're great.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm just I actually going to use. I just ordered the from Coloring the Rolodex ones.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to go take. I'm taking a class. I'm going to take a class. I believe it's the end of the month, and it's a workshop on different distressing techniques.
Okay.
And she suggested getting a Rolodex, and you do it on the top of the card, and on the back of the card you can put the recipe.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go get the Wearingoule Rolodex.
Yeah, I love my ink Rolodex.
Yep. So I'm going to. I have to go get a Rolodex thing now to put them all in. But yeah. So. But yeah. So anyway, but this is what I use to store. I mean, so I can look at my inks, and these are all the Wearingoule ones. So
Very good.
I just it works for me. Everybody has to do what works for them.
Right.
This is what works for me. So
All right, we
that
have a
is
question.
Okay.
What is white lightning?
White lightning is a liquid. I got mine at Vanessa. And a couple little, it's a lubricant basically for inks, and a little tiny drop goes a long way. And you can put it, I would suggest if you're going to, instead, you don't want to do the whole bottle of ink with white lightning, take some of the ink that you would put in a pen and put the tiniest of drops in an ink miser and then fill your pen.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, or you can, if you have a dry ink, it helps lubricate and make the inks a little wetter.
Yeah, it's a really cool product.
Yeah, it's a very cool product. So what else is happening? And now that we've done all our inks that we liked in 2024.
Christmas pens or Hanukkah pens.
Oh, sure. Well, I showed you mine.
Well, I know you got more than one pen, Marina.
I did. It's in another room, so I am oh, there's one I haven't opened yet.
So an unboxing. Let's go.
I have a new Santini that I'm gonna do a video on.
Nice.
And that's an Unica in ebonite.
Ooh.
So.
Well, the other pen you got, I have sitting on my desk.
Mm. Yeah, I also get an Esty. Yeah. So my parents asked me what to get me. So I said I want an Esty with a journal nib. So the whole story is why I started my YouTube channel was because Alexandra did 20 questions with me. And I was like, well, people will not know who I am. And the second thing, my parents live in Europe. And so they enjoy watching my videos because it makes them feel that they are kind of interacting with me. And I was like, well, that's something I want to do for them because I've been thinking about it for a long time. But the topic was watercolors for most of the part. And so many people are doing that. And I have so many more interests than just watercolors. So now my parents know about fountain pens. My dad used fountain pens when I was a kid. So that's how I kind of got one of the reasons how I got in them. And so now they're like, what you want? Do you want a fountain pen? So that's how I came by an Esty.
Yeah. You got this one for Christmas. You got the Coco.
Exactly the same one, different nib.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I know. So it's the re-release of Cobalt. It was a limited run when they re-released it in. They re-released it in October, and I don't know that they're still available.
I'm hoping they're gonna re-release the green one, the evergreen.
Yeah.
That one.
I really like. I'm still on the hunt for a lilac.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm ever going to find one at a reasonable price, but I would.
Yeah.
Always check the shows. You never know.
I know. I'm maybe the first day at Chicago.
Do you ever belong to Slack?
I used to. My old job has it. So you mean the messaging?
Yeah, there's Kirk. No, what's his name? Not Kirk. Brad Dowdy.
Okay.
So if you message him on Instagram, and then he'll give you a link to do his Slack, and then you can go into like fountain pens for sale or and all that hashtag fountain pens for sale, something like that, and then you can put in like want to sell or want to buy, and you can always put that if anybody has that pen that you're looking for on there too.
No, I tend to stock Kirk's consignment tab.
Yep. I do that a lot.
And there have been some fun Esties on there recently, but nothing that I've been interested in. And then the r/fountain pens sale section.
Yeah.
There
so right. The Wendy just put the way she uses White Lightning.
Oh yeah.
And she's getting a new Esty today. How about that?
She's getting a new Esty.
Nice.
I'm getting a new Esty today too, but I am saving it for when I eventually hit 5,000 subscribers. So it is going away for a little bit.
I have not done a YouTube video for a while, only because of travel and then surgery, and I have not been in the right headspace, and I have I do all this for fun, and to me it brings me joy, and I do it for fun, but I still want to get back into doing it, and then I'm getting overwhelmed with the amount of stuff, because of the travel and because of being here, and then my husband loves to surprise me with stuff. So, needless to say, he found I'm starting to. I love sailors and I like the KOPs, and he found this one. Ooh. So that's new. That's a new one. The KOP Mandarin Yellow, I think it's called, or whatever. And it's beautiful, and I do have it. So, very pretty. So that one,
sunny.
It's very sunny. It's bright. It makes me happy. And then I got this from. I got to pick an ink for it. So maybe this is the Sailor KOP Briarwood. So it's very pretty, and I actually got a couple of new inks in the other day, and I might do. I'm thinking of a caramel maybe color for it or something. This one here, or something that's nice. You could put any color in here, but I don't know what to put in.
Reddish brown. Well, yeah. My Stippler would have gone nice in there.
Yeah. Some type of, like, I love Leonardo Sepia, but I think it's a little too dry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might put something gray in it. Like, I think it would be hard to find the right brown match for it. So
I don't want a brown. I'm thinking more like something like a caramel. But it's like, if I do it like this and come in closer, there you go. But this is like, it's so nice to feel and touch the briarwood, and and I like the fact that it's a black section, so I'm not getting the wood,
right. Kari has a suggestion.
Oh yes, I got that ink. Thank you. That's a good suggestion. The Bensushi. I like the Tasha one. Very good suggestion. Yeah, very good suggestion. So that one is pretty cool. So yeah, having fun with pens.
Yeah. So I got That's 3 that we haven't talked about, but one's still in a box, so we're not going to talk about it. A friend was destashing their Sailor collection and sent me the Sailor Fountain Pen Hospital Blue Moon
Nice.
1911 from, I think it was 2015. It was either 2015 or 2019 they released it, but it's so pretty.
That's beautiful.
And I'm waiting for the converter to arrive to ink it. What was the?
Do you have any? Do you
Yes.
have any Sailor ink cartridges?
I do not.
Okay. All right. So that would have been instead of waiting for the converter. And if it's like, I've cleaned out some of those cartridges.
Sabi Midori was the ink. It's great. I love it. I need to get a bottle of it. I keep forgetting to buy a bottle of it, and it makes me sad because I'm almost out of my sample.
You know, it's funny working at the Tasha table. You know, I see a lot. I've worked at the Tasha table a few times, and I love doing it. This time I told I wasn't, because I can't stand on my foot too long, so I'll just go by and sit at the table and say hi. I know Kari's going to be working at the Tasha table in Philly.
She is.
So, but in October, in September at the Orlando Pen Show, I was like setting up the table, doing the breakdown, the whole bit, and there was a new ink, and I saw it and I wanted it, and I should have taken it and put it off. Whenever I see stuff that I like, I should take it off and put it on the side and then deal with paying for it later. And I didn't do that, and the ink was gone, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe," you know, like when
So,
you see
yeah, I need at Chicago. I need to go to Tasha early. I think, I don't know, like people I knew were working the booth.
Yeah, like me.
But like you, like Sue, like
Yeah.
people I knew were there. But it was still,
all you had to do was tell us, and we.
I know, but it was so intimidating to go over to that booth for whatever reason. Like people I knew were there, and
Yeah.
but like, and so I didn't buy anything from the booth, including the ink I wanted, and I have regretted it since Chicago because I can't find a bottle of it anywhere.
Mm.
And so
No, it's so hard. They sell
this
out
time around,
so fast.
I'm like Thursday, as soon as the booth is open, I'm getting the ones from the denim collection that I like, and I'm getting Sabi Midori.
Well, off on the other thing, like in Philly, you know, Kari's going to be there, so we can pick you up.
But the thing is, Kari and I aren't going to see each other again until Chicago.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter if Kari picks it up for me. I'm not.
So if she if she mails you the ink in Canada to another person in Canada, do you have to pay duty on it?
No.
Okay.
But shipping in Canada is ridiculously expensive, and so
yeah,
I could just wait 4 months.
Or you never know that she may just come and surprise you because she loves to drive in her car.
She does love it. She loves a good road trip.
Yeah, she does. It's always a road trip, right?
All right. And then the other pen is the hand-painted Banu Winnie the Pooh version.
Oh, the Winnie the Pooh.
I know.
I love that. I like the retro. They've chosen a retro way to do it.
Well,
I like that.
so these are the Winnie the Pooh characters that are no longer covered under the copyright on them's expired.
Yeah.
But these are also, Dad's British.
Mm-hmm.
I have my UK citizenship. I grew up with the UK version of the stuffed animals. My Piglet growing up was the pink and green one on this pen. Like, I never got the appeal of the Disney Piglet that was all pink.
Right.
So I am very happy with this pen. And it does have, I don't know that the camera's going to capture it. It sort of does. Like the little tufts of dandelion floating through the pen.
I see that. Yes, I can see it.
So ridiculously cute. I adore it.
Now, they did that the same thing with the Mickey Mouse because they're using Steamboat Willie because the copyright is now over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I love that.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever do Snoopy. They'll have to wait till the copyright's over on that. You know, I'm like, hey, all right, look, okay, there's Snoopy. It makes me happy. I'm sorry. Yeah. I have a Snoopy thing going on here.
Woodstock on a pen would be great. I would like,
you know, hey, I'm having my coffee time with Snoopy. Yes,
no.
I'm an old lady who just likes to be a kid. Oh, so anyway. So, oh, cute. Yes, cute.
Yes.
She means cute.
Yes, yes. I figured.
Yeah. Yeah. But yes. And I love Snoopy. He makes me happy. I mean, seriously, it makes you smile. We have like a big, huge Snoopy Santa now that kind of sing and dance out there, right? And I'm like, where am I going to store this thing, right? And I said,
Right.
okay, maybe I'll just go get a Hawaiian shirt and put a hat on him and just leave him up all year round. So it's funny.
Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but so let's see. That's good. And you got your pens. And
Yeah.
do you ever use? I was considering even using my
Oh.
laptop. What? Oh yes, exclusive with the family this
Nice.
year. Yes, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear that. So I may have to get the Esterbrook Snoopy. Definitely.
I'm gonna have to get on the list for that.
Yeah. I
I'm gonna
want
have
it.
to make some inquiries.
I'm gonna have to write to them and at Kenro and see what they can do. And say, listen, I just got my pen back. I had to send out a pen to Monte Grappa for repair.
Mm.
And so I was in constant contact, like, how long is this gonna take? It was a brand new pen. But anyway, so that's cool to know. Yeah.
It is.
What else?
Philly. You're going?
Philly. I'm going to Philly. Yes, I'm going to be sitting at. I told Kirk that I can come and sit and be eyes at the table for a while. And he said, great. And then I'll just, I'm going to take my time. Philly is a small enough show that I won't be on my foot too long. I still have to be careful with the healing process, but the doctor said I could go. So I'm going, hey, if you're ever considering going to a pen show, always book your hotel room. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yep.
You have up until like the day. Sometimes you have up until like 3 days before the show to cancel if you know you're not going. So, being that said, I already got my room in DC. I got my rooms in LA, Baltimore, DC. I have to figure where else, but I have to book
You have your Chicago?
my Chicago. Yes, I have Chicago.
Also, if people who are watching are planning to do DC tends to sell out by the end of January, beginning of February.
Yep.
Book your hotel now.
In fact, I lucked out so much so that when I went to go, I booked right away, and they have 2 rooms available. They have the regular room rate, which was not too bad. And then for like, I don't know, I got the suite because in the suite they have a big table, and I figure we can have journal parties up at the suite. Because it wasn't that much more money a night. I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to do the suite.
Shannon wants to know if she can sleep in your bathtub in LA.
Actually, I already have 2 other people sleeping in my room.
She is so desperate to go to LA. I spent this entire weekend pretty much with her going, I want to go to LA. Who can I convince to go to LA with me? I really want to go to LA. And I'm going, okay. You're already doing other pen shows. You're talking about how much you want to go to Chicago. You're talking that you want to go to DC.
Yeah. And I think I'm going
to do. Can you really do LA in January? Or is it February LA or January?
February.
February. Can you really do LA in February?
I'm going with Sue Beck, and I'm going with Suzette Perez. Suzette, with the 3 of us are going. And I said, okay, we got to get matching pajamas for our room.
Okay, I need to see photographic proof of that if it happens.
Yep, I'm looking right now for the matching pajamas so we can all
because that's going to be an absolute time. So Chicago, is Chicago going to be as much of a party as it seems like it's going to be? Because Kari's going to be there.
It's going to be a huge party.
It's going to be great. Though Kari is not coming in until Friday. Kari and her to Chicago. We're getting.
And I need to book my whiskey tasting. Oh my God. Kari's never drunk whiskey before, and I think she was just a wee bit happy.
I've heard the stories from last year.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was not present, but I've heard the stories. Well, yeah, I was present at the event, but I don't drink. So
yeah, No, so yes, we were all I like the Japanese whiskey the best, I think. It was a great whiskey tasting.
Yeah, I'd love to join you guys. When was Chicago again?
First week of May.
May.
We'll see. I might be in
1st through
Europe.
5th.
And I'm also going to this.
Kari, it was an experience.
And Kari, are we going to do it again? Right? I'm
going. I think it's up on the. I think it's up on the event list already. You can book your whiskey tasting ticket already.
Yep. I'm doing the Chicago Stationery Fest too.
Ooh.
And that's in right after the Baltimore show. So I'll be Baltimore. I come home for a week and then I fly to Chicago with Sue. And she and I are doing that. Now, they have VIP tickets. They're all sold out, but the VIP tickets for the Chicago Stationery Fest, unlike getting VIP tickets or the whole weekend pass thing at another stationery fest we were at in New York, this one here is like, you don't, like we get in an hour early. They have a pizza party for us the night before for anybody who has VIP. So VIP, they really kind of take care of the VIP.
So it's like Chicago Pen Show where we get early. Like I would not do an event like Chicago Pen Show without the weekend pass. Like even if I was just going for 2 days, I would do the weekend pass because you get early shopping.
Yeah,
you get into
San Francisco apparently that way. If I ever make it.
Yes, they're all that way. All the pen shows are like that. If you get the weekend pass, you get to go in on like Thursday is like the Traders Day, as they call them. But if you get the whole the weekend pass thing, you can go in, and that's the best time because a lot of people set up some stuff already, and you can get first dibs on especially stuff that you've been looking for and can't find. Either whether it be sold out inks, sold out pens, vintage stuff. So you're getting a lot of good dibs before the show actually opens. So I love doing the VIP days or the early show days and get the whole weekend pass because it does just make so much more sense.
It was fantastic at Chicago, especially like I think I only got an hour or two on the Thursday. And it was fantastic because it meant that I got to pick up any of the stuff that I'd pre-ordered before the show actually started.
Elizabeth asked, which is the best pen show for vintage pens? And I'd have to say that's the Triangle show.
Yeah.
The Triangle Pen Show is the best one for vintage pens. And even though Ohio show has some ones too, but I haven't been to Ohio, so I can't, but I know we're talking with other people. They say Ohio as well.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting. So New York has been taken over by new people.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see because Mario is very into vintage.
Yeah.
And I suspect that show is going to lean more. It was already a fairly vintage leaning show, but I think it's going to lean more vintage.
Yeah.
So funny. I looked them up and I was so sad they're not going to be. I don't think they're doing it this spring, right? They're going to be doing it later in the year, possibly.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Location.
I should just like send him a DM on Instagram and go, "What's up with this?"
I got so excited because apparently their venue used to be 15 minutes from where my husband is from on Long Island. So it's like, oh,
yeah, I know that Mike Bloom used to do the New York Pen Show, and then he gave it up because it was too much, got to be whatever, for whatever reason. So he's not doing it, but he does do the shows. He still goes to the shows. He has a lot of the vintage Mont Blancs and a lot of vintage pens.
Yeah. Who's got it now?
I don't know who's got it.
Mario Campa, who at Chicago is in the back corner and also organizes the whiskey tasting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's somebody known in the pen world who has it now, and so it'll just
great.
Yeah,
it's nice. I'm going to go. You know how in the beginning of December I was at Fountain Pen Hospital for their Christmas event, which was really cool. I was a wee bit busy. Sue Beck and I were in charge of doing the Pilot, the Sailor, the Namiki, and the Nakaya, that whole area there. So I've gotten to learn more about those pens and stuff. And I just really loved it so much so that I'm going to go back in April to do their spring show. And how
Oh my
about that weekend? So
That sounds
it's fun. And who doesn't like going to New York? And this time I said, I'm going to fly in earlier so I can, do some other stuff, because we flew in and right away we just went right there and we didn't have time for anything else. And, but it is fun. I love New York. Anytime I get to go to New York, especially being from Boston. I was in New York all the time. So it was fun. We did go over to Yoseka to see you, because when we were at Stationery Fest, we could never go into the store. That was just, there was lines everywhere and we could never get into the store. And so we went back when it was nice not being so crazy.
You think they're going to do the fest again? I haven't seen anything.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I heard isn't Daisy having another baby? So I
think so.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard. So, yeah, so I don't know. It was just a little.
Yeah. I feel like if they were going to, at least if they were going to be having one this year, we would have heard something by now.
Yeah, probably.
That they might do one in the future. But I think if they were going to have one in August.
Yeah, we would have heard about it already.
And there would have at least been rumblings from vendors.
Yeah.
And I've heard nothing from.
No, it was just, it was too crowded.
Yeah.
The space was too small for the amount of people that came and wanted that type of thing. The concept of it and the idea of it is wonderful. But it needs different space, and there was no camaraderie afterwards either. Like get a host hotel or and with the one thing that we love doing after a pen show is to meet up in the bar area of the hotel and everybody bring out their pens and the inks and sit around and have some fun.
And but like that's one of the great things about the Chicago Pen Show is the fact that it has evening events.
Yep. Yeah.
Like there's the auction one evening, there's the whiskey tasting, like there's stuff almost every evening. There's some sort of event that you can attend if you want to.
Right.
And so that is something that definitely wasn't seen at Stationery Fest.
No.
So accessibility, right? Because it was an old building.
Yeah,
it was right next. It's where Yoseka is. So they had Robert Oster was there with a ink station, right, for Robert Oster inks. Well, I tested a few, and there was a few that I really liked, and I wanted to buy. And they said, "Oh, I'm not selling them. You have to go into the store to buy them."
Oh, that is complicated.
And then you go into the store and say, "Hey, well, Robert, they was told to come in, and I can buy the inks here." Oh, you can't come in. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, you could go online and order and say, I'm going to come pick it up.
No.
It just
too complicated.
It was too. They made it so complicated. They oversold their tickets. And yes, it does scream for something there, but it just needed to be a little bit better organized.
And I think the big difference was like 10 days later, I was at the Atlas Sidewalk sale. I wasn't at Stationery Fest, but I was seeing all the footage. I was hearing all about it. And then I was at the Atlas event 10 days later. Atlas is not a big location. And yet they managed to put on an event with a lot of the pen vendors that were at Stationery Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And other than the fact that it rained all of day one and everyone had to move inside, which made it interesting because that store, again, not very big.
Nope.
And suddenly you've got 26 vendors inside. It made it work. A lot of camaraderie came out of that event. We got to know each other quite well. But there was a big difference, like, just in people's attitudes post-events. Like, there was, because especially, like, the next day, it was really busy, that event.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Stationery Fest where it was really busy and people had paid to be there, Atlas was really busy and it was a free event.
Right. Which was kind of nice too. Which is
Yeah.
very nice. I like going to the first time I went to Atlas was when I went to Chicago, and I plan on going again because I don't think I think it's too far from where we're going for the Chicago Stationery Fest. So when I go to the Chicago Pen Show again, then I'll make, like I'll go in like a day early so I
Yeah.
can go over to Atlas. And I love shopping in the stores because it's so much easier than shopping online. You get to see it, you get to touch it, you get to play with it. It's like a whole different experience.
Yeah.
Where I am, there's not many places that you can do that. I did find, though, which I'm very excited about, is Everything Stamps and More here in Florida. She used to have an area where before COVID, she sold a few fountain pens in there and stuff, but she's considering getting some more back. And again, she does have some fountain pen inks. But it's a great place for journalers, for scrapbooking people, and she does all these like creative workshops. And I went there the other. Suzette was visiting me, so she drove us. I let her drive. We went to there, and I was able to go in and sit down and put my foot up and keep it elevated and just work on something that I was working on. But I think I spent a little, she kept yelling at me every time we'd get up to go look in the store because the store is really big. And I've never seen so much cool crafting stuff. And Suzette would come find me. You've been away too long. Get back and sit down and put your foot up, right? So like, she's yelling at me and I'm like, okay, Mom, She said, I want to hear you later that complaining about your foot. So it's like, okay, Mom, I'm getting back to the seat, put my leg up. But it's a cool space, a cool creative space. So like, it's when I can drive again, I'm going more often because I can take my stuff and I can go create and, like not be bothered, like be in that creative environment.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have like a create where you can go and create. And it's not that far from me. It's not even, it's about a half-hour drive. So it's not that bad.
I'll have to send you a thing. A friend of mine, maker, just made me aware of this wonderful new store, apparently in Florida, I think around Orlando area.
Lighthouse.
That carries handmade pens.
Oh, handmade pens.
Yeah. So I'll send you a link.
Oh, fountain pen.
Fountain
pen. It's a friend of mine, Joe. He does the Orlando Pen Show.
Yeah.
And he carries a lot of the independent pen makers' pens too there.
It's probably that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, believe it or not, where he is, it's probably about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive. So I'm like, next time I go to Orlando, maybe, I'll stop. He's in Sebastian, Florida. And so he carries a lot of the stuff there, but he's the one that organizes the Orlando Pen Show, which is another one that's coming up. So there's Miami Pen Show in July. And then thank God they moved their location. It's going to be in Fort Lauderdale in a much nicer area, nicer hotel. It's a Hilton in the Marina. And so I told them I'd help them out there. People from Andorilium Inks runs that show.
Okay.
And it'll be out of the Miami show. The hotel last year was just not. It was at the time that there was a computer glitch. Remember that whole computer? There was a whole thing with the airlines and everything, and affected
the Windows hack.
Yeah. The Windows hack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so bad. Thank God we checked in the night before. So our room key still worked. Anybody that was checking in the next day, security would have to go and unlock their doors for them constantly because they could not have keys. They could not get the computer keys to work. So talk about a logistical nightmare. And then I was begging for towels. I was begging, the housekeeping's doing the laundry. I said, how long does it take to wash towels? It's like, give me some towels, man. Do you have any empty rooms? I'll go get the towels out of the empty rooms. Yeah, it was just not good. Anyway.
Meanwhile, San Francisco, the complaints. I've heard a lot of complaints about, and like people want location to change, basically.
I thought it was okay. I mean, it was not bad.
I think it's mostly parking that people were unhappy with, because they would
Right.
drive up, from LA and stuff. And I do understand it from
the
that.
parking part. Yeah. See, I flew in, so it was fun. I was there working for at the Leonardo table, and we were busy. It was crowded. I tried to walk around. It's a busy show. So I liked where we were. It was so crowded, so crowded. There was not a lot of, if you wanted to go to a restaurant and stuff, you have to Uber. There was not like the restaurant there was, and I don't mind Ubering to a restaurant and stuff like that, but there was nothing like really close to. There was there was one place, a lobster place that we could walk to. It was like a block away. And that was kind of neat, but there was not locally around that place where you can just walk to and stuff like that. But the rooms were fine. But anyway, so then there's the Orlando Pen Show in September.
Yeah.
So it all starts all over again.
Yeah, there's sort of like this quiet period from like the end of November
Yeah.
till January.
So I'm thinking about going to the Dutch Pen Show. I told Yost I would go, and they're doing the Dutch Pen Show for 2 days.
Oh.
Yep.
I'll just be here and be jealous of all of you.
I might. We'll see. It really depends. We're having a bit of an issue because I want. My husband is in academia, so we're dependent on whatever his stuff is done.
Yep.
Here, and so I want to, because I'm going to be the one planning every trip. So I want to plan it. So he flies in. We spend time together.
Yeah.
And, go on from there. So we'll see.
Well, since we just got back from Europe in October, and Peter's like, I'm not going back again, but I can go, and I'll go by myself. And I'm like, okay, if I'm flying all that way, I mean, I'll know people, and I've been. I might go back to Italy for a few days and then go over to Amsterdam because
will you just pick up your Leonardos in person then, instead of having them shipped to you?
Well, hopefully he's working on my Leonardos. Like he's got some rods and he's making my pens, so I don't know how long that's going to take. But I've been asked to go. I've been asked to. There's a couple other pen makers factories that keep saying, when are you coming to visit us? Because I didn't have time when we ran out of time.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm planning so I went to school in Rome, Italy for 4 years. So I'm planning on doing that and going up to the buying. I'm buying some stuff for my store in Florence. So I'm doing that for sure. But I would love to go up north even further, but we'll see.
Okay, so you have Marina, I don't know much about you, so tell me more about your store and you.
I make paint and I make porcelain palettes, basically.
Cool.
Been doing that for years.
I'll have to check it out. I will check it out, definitely.
So, and I buy my pigments in Florence a lot of times. So.
And you deal in vintage art.
I also do that. Yeah, I collect antique watercolor boxes mostly.
Nice.
That's also what I sell.
So you do a lot of painting and you're an artist.
Yes. It was like a shift in career. We got married. My husband is American and I'm not, and I was not allowed to work for a while, which is, procedure when you immigrate from somewhere. And so I started my business instead. So, and here I am.
Nice.
But yeah, I used to work in diplomacy and international affairs, and I did some stuff for NATO back in the day. So it's a complete change for me from where I used to be.
Okay, that's great. And congratulations! I heard you had some great news.
I did. Yeah, Alexandra, it's came out under 1%. My cancer chance.
That's good. We got under 1%.
Yeah. That's wonderful news. Congratulations. I know you posted that yesterday, and
somehow I missed that yesterday.
I told that to Lori, I think. And
okay. Yesterday was really busy.
Yes, I know that. I didn't text you because it was pretty busy.
You know,
figured.
by the way, we've been on for almost 3
I
hours.
know.
Yeah.
It's like almost 1:30 and I'm going, I need food at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
I need
husband
to-
just waved and left. So, you know.
Yeah, I just so anyway, I wanted to tell you this is wonderful. I love doing this. We're gonna do it again next month. We'll do it once a month, right?
Yes.
And we got to come. We'll Alexandra and I will talk afterwards to figure out what subject we want to do because this was fun.
We
Picking a
will.
subject and going over stuff is really kind of cool.
Oh, apparently somebody's angry at how I pronounce narwhal in my Navaler video. I
Oh,
look
no.
forward to telling them that Frank, who owns the company, pronounces it Navaler.
Yes, he does.
Well, it's
And,
all
you
the
know,
language stuff.
because I asked Frank and I said, he said either way.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but when when I've talked to Frank at pen shows, he pronounces it Navaler.
Navaler, yeah.
The pen brand, the stores that rep his products pronounce it Navaler. I very much look forward to telling this commenter that
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing it the same way as its store owner.
Yeah, as the shop owner. I like Frank a lot. In fact, he and Peter text a lot back and forth. They talk about other stuff like watches and pen, all kinds of stuff. And he was at Fountain Pen Hospital because they came in, and he lives in New York, so it's easier. And we went out to dinner one night, and I ended up having to leave a little early because all of a sudden something just hit me, and I was just like going back to the hotel. I was not feeling well, and I gently I told people that were right near me I was leaving, and he saw me walk out, and he came out and he said, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay?" He's just really such a nice guy. I really, really,
No, he is. I enjoyed doing 20 questions with him. It was fun.
We have some great times. See that he makes the after party. It is just so much fun.
The thing is, I didn't go to any of the evening events at Chicago, and I feel like I should have, but at the same time, like, I don't drink, and I was still like sort of an outsider. Like, people knew me, but people didn't really know me, and so like it sort of felt like I was intruding coming.
No,
like I didn't go to anything.
We're gonna change that this year.
Yeah, apparently.
And you don't have to drink. That's the thing. You do not have to drink. I can have more fun when I don't drink. Seriously. But no, you don't have to. We just all sit around and we talk pens and we laugh. And Nick Payne comes down. You know who Nick is. He does all the calligraphy classes, and he sells a lot of vintage pens. And in San Francisco one night, he had fish with him because he's also a fisherman. And in his room, we were at a sushi party, and he was doing marinating the fish, carving it. We're all in his room having like, I mean, that's the camaraderie. That's something that I absolutely love. I could care less if I buy another pen or another ink. Seriously, because like I'm overwhelmed right now and I really want to play with my pens. I go for the camaraderie. I go to see people. I go to have fun.
Yeah.
And I also go to see Kirk because he's got to fix some pens for me. but I'm being very serious. Yes, there's probably going to be something I'm going to see, and I'm like, I have to really think about it now. I'm being very selective because I'm like, at the beginning of this whole journey, you're just buying pens because, I like it. It's pretty. I'm going to buy it. And then you get home now, and my collection has evolved so much that now I can be very selective.
Yes. Well, my introduction to you last year was you wandering over to where Kari and I were sitting at a table and telling Kari that you had just bought the Mont Blanc pen that you had been looking for. And like, that was the setup for our friendship.
Yeah. Well, I've been wanting the Elvis Presley Mont Blanc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the one because I'm into music. I love music. I sing and have a good time. So anything musical, and of course Elvis, right? In fact, I recorded Ariana when we got married, our marriage song, which was "Can't Help Falling in Love," and I actually recorded it, and it came out pretty cool. And I just love music, and I'm like, this is the pen I have to have. It's part of our journey. It's part of our start of our life. Elvis Presley, Can't Help Falling in Love was our song. And so whenever a pen brings back a memory, I'm going to want it, especially those happy memories. So now it has to meet those criterias,
And I think it's important to have criteria for buying pens because like this hobby can be really expensive either way. But if you don't have boundaries for what you buy, it can get very dangerous very fast.
Yeah, I have boundaries.
High
So
standard.
Couture Pens is that's
Shannon.
Shanna. Yeah, she doesn't drink. I'm
Yeah.
you're not an outsider. You'll fit in fine. You'll be great. So come. And I have
Kari is not booking the whiskey tasting this time. She apparently learned her lesson last year. Which means I will get no stories the next morning, which leaves me slightly disappointed.
Kari, come on. You're going to be my partner in crime. Maybe I'll twist her arm and buy her a ticket. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Anyway, and Shanna, yes, that's the thing. I want to go to Graceland. I've not done that yet. And I want to go there. I've been wanting to go for a long time. I have not been to Nashville or Tennessee, so I want to go. It's on the bucket list.
Kari is egging you on, but I don't know what Kari's egging you on with. It could be
to buy her a ticket.
Oh, to buy her a ticket? Good. Go for it. I look forward to the stories the next morning.
But you could come hang out with us while we do it. So you can record it.
That is true.
Blackmail us with the story.
I would have great blackmail content. Plus, Mario was my first victim for 20 questions. Even before Kari agreed to do it, Mario went, sure, it sounds fun, I'll do it.
Yeah. And I said to you, you should do 20 questions 2.0.
Well,
things have changed so much so.
That may be a plan for Chicago.
That would be cool. Oh my God, yes, we got to bring I'll get.
Oh my God, yes.
The wigs. So I got to get some
wigs.
So my friend, Ferocious and Pretty Pens, Nusha, at the DC Pen Show, all of a sudden the big Amazon box that she shipped to the hotel, she went online and had it shipped to the hotel of all these cool wigs. And we were all in wigs, acting like fools.
And you're all popping up on my Instagram stories and I'm going, oh my God, what the fuck?
It was so much fun. And I don't think I had a drink in me when I was doing it. So, hey, doesn't take much. Yeah. So, we had a good time.
Yeah, DC looked like it was a blast.
Oh my God, what about Kirk? Kirk put on the Tina Turner wig.
I saw some pictures.
Didn't Kirk wear a bathrobe for half the show?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was in San Francisco. All of a sudden, he comes down to San Francisco. He comes down to go to his table, and he's in a bathrobe. He says it's cold in here.
And then there's a group picture of 3 of the nib grinders all wearing bathrobes to do nib grinding, and I'm like, why are you doing this in white bathrobes? This seems.
We were in the Orlando Pen Show, and the Orlando Pen Show has an escalator that goes up to the second floor.
Yeah.
And we're all waiting now for people to come because we're going out to dinner.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's gonna kill me. All of a sudden, Kirk is coming down the escalator, spread eagled with 1 foot on each side, and we're all screaming at him. And by the time I could get my phone out, it was over, right? So I couldn't record it. But he's coming down like this with 1 foot one on each. He was spread eagled on the coming down, and I'm like, he's gonna kill himself. It is Crystal's yelling at him. It was funny. Like,
There is a link in the description of every 20 questions videos, and all you have to do is fill out the form, and I will get back to you.
Yeah, please do. She's
Yeah.
really fun. I do like her channel.
yeah, it's great. I watched Drew's. Who was the longest 20 questions?
I think it's still me.
Okay, besides you don't count.
Besides me, I don't count. Let me go look. Drew has also had another 300 views. So, okay, I knew Drew was going to be popular. I underestimated how popular Drew was going to be vastly. Because there was a period of yesterday where Drew was getting over 400 views an hour.
Wow.
I still have like 30 something comments to get back to on that video that I have not responded to because there are so many comments on it. But 20 questions. Who is the longest?
I think we should at this point start taking bets if Drew's is going to be more popular than Hemingway Jones.
Oh, it was within 4 hours. Hemingway's got 1 second. Is that the longest? I think it is. Stephen Brown.
Huh.
Longest episode of Fountain Pen 20 Questions that's not me.
Not
So
me.
Hemingway got 1,458 views to date so far. Currently, Drew is sitting at 6,326.
Wow.
I knew Drew was going to be popular.
Wow.
Drew knew Drew was going to be popular, but I thought it was going to be like maybe 1,000 in the first day. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Fig Boot. Big Boot didn't do well off the top and has now almost caught up to Hemingway. Like sometimes they start off slow, but they get popular over time. I thought Drew was going to be like that. No, Drew started off slow, and then like hour 3 of being up, suddenly it got 475 views in an hour, and I went, oh, it's about to become really popular. And then for the next 9 hours, it got 400 views an hour.
Wow, that's awesome.
400 plus views an hour. And it was like, okay.
And he did the interview pretty quickly, like 10 minutes.
He did it in 10 minutes. It's a fast interview. And he knew he had the job. He knew he had the Farney's job. He couldn't tell me who had hired him. But he went, I want to push it for a week because by then I'll know if I have a job or not. And I went, sure. And we sat down to film, and he went, I've got a new job, but I can't tell you where. And so it is the first interview that was filmed with him knowing that he had a job again. And so suddenly it is not I don't really know what I'm doing, Drew, which is what you saw in a couple of the other interviews. This is a Drew that knew that he was still going to be staying in the pen world. Like he had a future in the pen world, and he couldn't tell me where, but he was really excited and happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes across in the interview. Like he is genuinely happy.
Yeah. I saw that. I could see that in because I watched it. I gave you a thumbs up.
Yeah. And I had a great time filming it. Like I always have a great, like, it's very rare that I don't have an absolutely fantastic time filming them, but I really wanted to do an episode with him for a long time. And I was so happy to finally be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did.
So we're at 3 hours
We're
now.
at 3 hours. I think it's time to call time because I need lunch.
Yeah, I know. I need to eat.
You not had breakfast, Marina?
No, I rolled out of bed and here I am.
Poor child.
fine. You guys
right.
don't do it often, so I'm
We
honored.
don't. That is the perk of Claire and I only doing a live show once a month.
Yep.
Is that we just don't put a time limit on it. What I really like is how many people haven't seen the press release from Farney's or Retro 51 yet. And so like nearly every comment is, what do you mean he's the president of Farney's? Ooh, Drew got an upgrade in life. Talk about following up. And it's like, this statement has been out since December 11th.
I know.
It broke. The funny thing is, it broke on our podcast. Or
I was, surprised reading people's comments how many people don't know the store, but it's an institution. It's been there for such a long time.
98 years it's been there.
Yeah.
And like it broke on our show. It was when the press release was released, and suddenly people were talking about it in our comments, and I was texting Drew going, is this true? Before we talk about it. But it like amazes me how many people have a fountain pen as their icon on YouTube, but like hadn't seen that Drew had a job again.
No, I think that's wonderful for him. And actually, I'm going to DC early for the DC Pen Show because I'd like to go visit there too, because I have never been, and it would be kind of fun to go. I want to go to Pen Boutique, and I want to go to Farney's, and it would be fun. It'd be fun to see.
This is the redemption arc I needed to start 2025.
Yeah.
I think the day after we had our show, when you broke the news about him getting the job, I texted him and I'm like, please fix their website. And he's like, yes, it's one of the first things we gotta do.
That's so many of the comments
bad.
of people that knew he had been hired are like, can we get an updated website for Farney's, or like make it slightly better, but also like don't get rid of the catalog because we love getting the catalog in the mail.
I just got it. I have it here. Yeah.
So I need to convince him to send me a catalog in Canada, because as far as I can tell, they do not ship it to Canada, and I desperately want one because unfortunately it seems like the years of the Gold Spot catalog have come to an end. This year's Gold Spot catalog is just a little pamphlet, and I am sad. Because
that's sad.
It is such. I've loved their catalog. It's been great.
But it's also expensive too.
It is.
So
anyway, ladies, let's say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for all tuning in.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out. If you've made it 3 hours and 7 minutes into this stream,
yes, great.
Good for you.
I do
Why
it.
can't I get the hug? So there, the hug. There, you got it.
I can never get it to work.
No, mine will only work like stupidly. Like all of a sudden, if I go like this, it'll do like that, whatever. But there we go. She can do it. I can't. It's not like
mine never works.
No, whatever.
Right.
Is it in settings? I wonder.
I don't know.
I don't know. My iPad, so I think it's connected to that.
Okay.
Who knows?
I don't know. Anyway,
Marina, I'll see you tomorrow. We've got
All right.
chatter. Claire, I'm sure I'll talk to you before we meet next.
Well, we have to discuss what we're going to discuss tomorrow.
Yes. But also, like, I talk to you like 3 times a week at least. So.
Yeah. Well, it was great chatting with you, Marina. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Great chatting. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Oh, she left. I thought.